I'm gonna start the recording here. Okay, and gentlemen, where can someone recap? Where did we leave off?
We just finished up in a fairy tournament that involved us.
Oh, Hannum, you're lagging a little bit. Say that again.
Fighting a bunch of that. I am lagging. Oh boy.
Yes.
Someone else do it here. Yeah.
By the
So
way,
fairy
did we all
tournament.
level up?
I think we're all level 10, right?
Level 11.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh
11.
boy.
Shit.
We can
we're
start
level
at
11?
that.
We can start at
Yeah.
level. We can start at level 10, but I did say at the end of the last session that you guys leveled up.
Oh shit.
Are we all level
I'm
10 right now?
11 now.
Are we all level 10 right now? We can play the first session at level 10.
We're all
that's
level
fine.
10, I think. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll play
yeah,
it at
we'll
level 10.
level
That's
up.
fine. We'll level up at the
Um,
end of this session.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sick.
So we were in a tournament trying to get back a planar tuning fork that could take you to multiple different planes.
Yes.
And someone tried to steal it, and
Yes.
there was a lot of undead nonsense goals, and I tried to kill multiple people, and apparently that's frowned upon in a fight to the death.
And Hotman Soul stopped you
Okay,
from
no
killing
one's,
someone.
That's true. And then where is he now? No one knows. He disappeared. Let that serve as a lesson.
He went back to the Temple of Koseth.
Sure. That's all I remember.
Okay. Well, so at this point in time, you guys are in Feywin's Manor. The cool blue flames are flickering in the fireplace with the giant tapestry with the unicorn in the center. She's just awarded you for your services. So I believe that was an award of 500 gold pieces, if I recall.
That sounds right.
Did you guys add that to your coinage?
500 GP.
500 GP apiece?
Does that, so my character is new.
Your character is not
What?
in the room at this time.
Okay, all right.
But Lady Feywin turns to each of you, and she's asked you this question of, she's offered you more coin for your services. She says that there's more to do here. And what say each of you, Phil and Javier?
I'm always good for more money.
See.
Javier. Very well.
Actually, excuse me. Javier is interested in more coin.
I see. Very well then. And you, Sir Phil?
Just like killing people. I just like killing. So sure, I'm fully on board. I'll hunt people down for sport. I mean, there's not a whole lot of money in revenge, so
Very well.
fully on board.
And
Am
you?
I still lagging out awfully?
Not so bad.
And she turns to Rodolfo at this time, who is still in the room technically. And she says, and Sir Rodolfo, I have a separate plan for you. Please, return to your quarters. We will talk later. Rodolfo sort of mutters to himself and leaves the room. Okay. And at this point of time, she turns to her butler, and he nods, and he opens the door, and Skull Ashbane enters the room. Mazich, would you like to describe your character at this time?
Yes. So you see a man who is about 6 feet tall and he's wearing like all black. I can send you actually a picture of what he looks like. And he's got like a cowl covering like the lower half of his face with like a tricorn hat.
Oh.
And he's got like these metal bracers that like have intricate silver carvings on them. And he's got like these buckles across his chest. And he like walks in and just kind of dips his head, like bowing respectfully to everyone, and says, "Hello, my name is Skull Ashbane. Pleasure to make your acquaintance."
And I will say, Phil, you recognize this character. You've seen him at different hunters' halls throughout the land. And I forget, have you two worked together before on anything?
Oh yeah, we go far back. So I'm very familiar with Skull. Skull and I used to clean up. Oh, back in the day, we used to just go and just kidnap random people for bounties. You know, they were bad guys usually, but there's always a good time. The drinks were always flowing, and you also never knew what to expect with a goddamn trickery cleric.
And
Very good.
Skull has like silver hair and amber eyes. He looks at Phil and he says, "Phil, great to see you again. I hope the hunt treats you well."
It pays the bills.
Don't I know it?
I see that we have already made some acquaintances here. Very well, gentlemen. Please be seated and I can explain to you what further services are required. Yeah. You each find a place in the room to sit. There's sort of like a lounge area that there's like a laid bed. There is like normal chairs and sofas.
I sit on the fainting couch.
Yes. There's also a cigar tray and things like that around. I don't know if you guys remember. There's like a card table, a place to grab like food and stuff. What are you guys doing?
Oh yeah, Javier lights one of those stogies up.
Nice.
I'll join Javier with the cigar. And he says, I say, "Javier, hey, can you help me out here? Light this for me, please."
You guys have the cigar butt sex?
We have cigar butt sex.
Yes.
Actually, as you say that, the butler says, "Allow me, sir," and he does like a little minor cantrip to just sort of like the ends of your cigars. And the smoke, as you guys are seeing it, it sort of, as it rises into the magical light, like changes color and stuff and begins doing like very intricate swirls. Like it's not just like normal smoke. And as you smoke and taste it, it brings you back to sort of nostalgic point. Message for you, it reminds you of sort of this nut bread that comes from your village. Very nostalgic, something that you constantly ate as a child. And Javier reminds you of sweet rolls. Okay. But it sort of brings like this nostalgic smoky flavor to your palate. And so you sit, and Feywin turns to each of you and just says, "The services that are required of each of you is another search for a similar artifact to the one that you have retrieved. This fork," and she gestures to the planar tuning fork on the pillow, "is a powerful shard of a god. The masters of Mifar seek to protect its power, and I will be
The masters of what?
of Mifar. The masters of Mifar. I can type that into the chat. Let me find my notes on this.
I feel like misspelling names is a part of this game, though.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
tradition.
Masters of Mustafar.
I'm sending you to the Mafar system.
Vendralia seeks to use these powers for her own gain. It is in the master's interest that these powers be protected and guarded so that they are not misused. Her meddling could harm the very fabric of the planes. And it is for this reason that we need to stop this meddling. This fork will be under my custody. I will make sure that it reaches the masters. But what I need you to do is to find the next piece. Have you any questions at this time?
No, where do we find the next piece? Well, I guess that's a question.
An excellent question. She gestures to her butler again to bring over something, and he brings over this small box, and he sets it down on the table and takes out sort of like this crowbar-looking thing and cracks it open, lifts off the lid, and pulls out this item wrapped in cloth. Begins unwrapping it, and what you guys see is a small wooden rose. And as it unwraps and as it enters the light, one of the petals begins glowing a little bit. And all the other petals sort of begin glowing as well. And it sort of begins doing this sort of like, what is the movie where it's the aliens and they have the spaceship and it's like the different flash patterns of like all the different petals sort of just start flashing at different spaces and then they sort of calm down.
Like Close Encounters.
Close Encounters, yeah. Close Encounters of the
Does
other
it
kind.
play that music? Bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum,
Yeah, the butler is actually stringing it on the heart in the corner. But yeah, so this rose, the butler sits down and she gestures to it. The item that the masters seek is in the Feywild. Once you enter that plane of existence, this item will be your guide. This is a compass rose.
The pun. I love it.
This compass rose is attuned to the item which the masters seek. Okay. I cannot tell you what it is. But it is your job to seek it out, to find it, and to return it to the masters. I will meet you at the Tower of Mafar in the south, which, Chrisley, you're from, I believe, the Venn Isles, correct?
I am.
So without even making a history check, you're familiar with the Tower of Mafar. You know that this is sort of like a cloistered place of study and magic. And that like, while it's not like a completely like cloistered place, like some people do leave and go from it. Like even in the Venn Isles, it's difficult to get to because the island that it's on has like high mountains. It's difficult to make a port at. And so it's sort of like guarded by its own natural terrain. But it's a place where people go to seek knowledge, people go to do research. It's very secretive what people actually do there sometimes, although there is decent knowledge that
Yeah.
does come out.
On
Yeah.
hearing that, Javier has a flashback to his dad on a boat with him. And he's holding his shoulder. He says, Javier, all that the light touches is our kingdom. But that place over there, you must never go there.
Right. Yeah. I would say that like growing up, there was definitely a lot of like superstition
Yeah.
about the tower.
From the
in
common
your-
folk.
In your travels and knowledge, you have heard a little bit more, and like there's always like sort of like conspiracies about what the tower is up to, but because they do sort of do their own thing. Yeah,
But it's definitely magical what's going on over there. Yeah.
definitely. Okay. You would also
Question.
know, Javier, that the tower is run by 5 masters. There are 5 masters of the tower who live at the top floor of the tower. Okay. Question, Skull?
Lady Vendralia, if I may, could you tell me a
Go
bit
ahead.
more about these masters of Mafar? I'm unfamiliar with who these
Indeed.
masters are.
Indeed, I can. For you see, I'm quite familiar with the masters. I myself studied at the tower with Vendralia in our past. We both have a history there.
Oh, Lady Phelan. Sorry, I
Yeah.
said your name wrong.
We both have history there. It is this previous connection and why the masters have reached out to me for this particular task, and why I in turn have reached out to you. The masters are noble creatures. They seek to maintain a balance while also pursuing a search of knowledge. They try not to meddle in the affairs of the world, but in recent times, you can see in her eyes, she sort of begins to hesitate. Many of you, Phil, Skull, have met Lady Faywin in the past, in service to Cyolian, and asking in seeking out bounties, in hunting down creatures, harassing the city. You're not unfamiliar with each other. You've worked together, and she trusts you, but you can tell that there's sort of like this sense of guardedness, that she doesn't want to maybe say everything all at once. She turns to you and says, mid-sentence, and she says, "Gentlemen, if you complete this quest, I have arranged it with the masters that you will be the ones to deliver the item. I will take the tuning fork, but upon retrieving this item from the Feywild, it'll be up to you to bring it to the tower itself."
DM, can I roll an insight check just to see if I can get any additional read on why she's holding information back from us?
Sure, go for it. Roll an insight check.
Also, is the tower
just
in
wanna-
the
I got a 14.
14. I'm gonna just send you a quick chat. What was your question, Tandem?
is the tower in the Fey realm, the Tower of Mafar?
The Tower of
No.
Mafar is in the material plane. It is
So
on the southernmost of the Ben Isles.
so it's go to the Feywild, then come back. Okay.
You see, does this work? Am I pointing at it on the map?
You're pointing at your shoulder, which is right
Yes.
behind your shoulder.
Yeah.
Does she beat a 12 insight by chance?
She didn't beat a 14. I can text this to both of you.
I mean, my passive insight is 12.
Got it.
Mine is 19.
Someone's a lot more wise than I am. I have
Yeah.
6 intelligence. I may not
I
be
come
smart,
from a place called Wise.
but I'm also dumb.
And
Okay.
Okay.
and hang on, so Skull, you said you rolled a 14?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So with all of that said and done, okay, I believe right now we're about midday.
Mhm.
Okay. So Faywin, okay, turns to each of you. She says, once you leave my manor, follow the road to the center of the city. Okay. There you will find the crossings for at the Wise Tree. This will allow you to enter into the other side of the city in the Fey realms. Okay. Okay. From there, follow the compass rose. Okay. If you wish to gain and gather supplies in the town, you may. Okay. The coin I gave you should be more than sufficient.
Cool.
Lady Faywin. Coin. What coin do you speak of? If there are any funds that can aid in my gathering of equipment, that would be greatly appreciated.
I lean over to Javier. This is awkward. This is really awkward.
He's one of the paws.
Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed, Mr. Ashbane. Forgive me. Okay. As part of your hiring, as part of your retainer fee that we agreed upon earlier, 250 gold.
My thanks.
Okay. And also, Mazich, did I tell you how much gold that you had with to start?
I think you did. I've
Okay.
got 320 to start.
Gentlemen, are there any further questions?
No.
Can you point us to any locations within the city where we might go for magical items or anything useful for our adventure?
Certainly. Well, on the material plane, there's certainly a number of different entities that you could stop by. Phil, you
Mhm.
could always stop by the Bard's College. I know that you are familiar with people there.
My alma mater, yeah.
There are academic resources. The library would be primary there. You are also free to walk through my gardens and see if you can glean any of the additional plants there. Additionally, sorry guys, let me find all this. There is Wanafia's magic shop on this side of town and on the plain side of town. I'm sure that they would have very many common magic items. A music shop and craft shop are available. Horse stables are available here. But I think that on the Fey side of town, you might find some things more to your interest. There is an interesting egg shop I've heard about, a flower store that might be interested. In fact, the entire Prancing Market would be a good place to check. Many stalls and unique vendors reside there on the Fey side of town.
Javier is wondering if there's any kind of like artificer or like tinkerer that I might fake or find.
None that take up residence, but if you do check the Prancing Market, there's a chance that one might be traveling through.
Okay.
Let's go to the Prancing Market. That sounds pranciful.
Yeah.
Lady
Felix, you can
Phelan, as
Oh.
always. And I pick up the decanter of whiskey. I pour a little glass right there in, where the decanter was, and then I just pocket the decanter of whiskey.
Feywin looks a little stunned, but it says nothing of it. She's loaded. She's fine with that. The butler actually rushes out and brings like another crystal decanter out. add one glass crystal decanter with whiskey in it to your inventory. That's fine.
My lady, these
she's also-
cigars have a
She's also
delightful
somewhat
scent.
familiar. I'd also say that because you're a creature of the Fae, you're somewhat like she understands that this is part of like your innate like instinct in nature to sort of just like grab things and take things.
It's my culture. It's
Yeah.
your hospitality is so generous.
Javier says thievery is a part of my culture as well.
My lady, these cigars remind me of my home within the deep wild. May I take a few cigars for the road?
You certainly may. Yes, they are actually magically enchanted.
I'm sorry,
Amazing.
Each
my mic
person
cut out when
tastes
you're describing them. What was the deal with them?
each person tastes a different thing. For me, it's rose hip tea.
Oh, cool. I like that.
Respect.
Respect.
So I'm gonna add some enchanted cigars to my inventory.
Amazing. Well, Lady Feywind, and I walk through her front door backwards, as is custom in the fairy realm. And yeah,
Just backs out of it.
just back out of the
Wait,
front
that's all
door.
you said? You say, well, Lady Faye went, then you just leave.
And then, yeah, I mean, she understands. It's
She
subtext.
gets it. She gets it.
Yeah, it's
she gets it.
contextual.
All right, where are we going? To quote
Let's
Peregrine
try
Duke.
that. It sounds like there's a magic shoppy at the Prancing Market. Or are those different things, Lund?
Well, so the magic shop is a separate thing. You would know this
Okay.
too, Phil, because you grew up in Silene, didn't you?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so you would know Winethier's. You know Winethier's. She has some rare magic items sometimes, but for the most part, it's just common magic goods. People go there to get like alchemy jugs. People go there to get like sort of like, I don't know if you could say basic magic items, but if you have the
Run of
coin,
the
she's
mill.
there.
Yeah.
You do know of the Prancing Market. You know, it's essentially like, imagine like just a
A
giant
magical
farmer's market.
market.
Yeah. there are a lot of like single stall setup merchants, and it changes from day to day. Some people are permanent fixtures. She mentioned that egg shop. You are well aware of that egg shop. You know that magic flower shop. You also, when in your childhood, loved to go to the magic candy store that's there. So there are those things that you do recognize. And actually, since we're here,
I lead everybody to just do some light window shopping at the magic shop. I'm not committed to buying anything yet, but you know, patronage. Yeah.
and I would say because of your run of the business, you actually have a pretty decent relationship with Winnetheer. She is an autumnal Eladrin who runs the store.
Elaborate.
Yeah. So are you guys heading to to Winnetheer's?
I'll go check out Winnetheer's.
Okay. So as you walk through the city, you see a manner of people, both from the material plane and the faith folk. You see centaurs, satyrs. The city itself, there are these tall pine trees sort of throughout the town, and there are houses built in the trees, but also on the ground. And the ones on the ground are these tall, like 2-story buildings, sort of built with thatched roofs. There are these interesting sort of like crossings on the face of them, really giving it sort of like this small sort of hamlety vibe, I suppose. And the houses in the trees are very interesting. Some of them are very small for fairy folk. They're like literally the size of birdhouses, but others are expansive, and you can actually see sort of bridges crossing between the two different neighboring networks and the like. You can see there's also different mechanisms of getting up there. Some people just have like a standard rope ladder. Other people have something more fixtured into the tree. There's even one tree that's been like carved out with an actual spiraling staircase up. And you see actually a group of satyr children running around, and one of them grabs on a piece of rope, and it just flings them up into the trees. And he lands, and as they're running off and playing tag with each other.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so you get to Winnetheer's. There's this small little symbol in the front. It sort of looks like just a star, a 4-pointed star. And you enter the store. And it's all sort of, it's very tidy. Everything has a place, everything's well presented. And as you look around, hang on guys, let me just make sure that I have, oh my goodness, I knew I had a plan for this. You see a bunch of different common items, essentially. So, hang on, so let me filter some things. So you see things like, you see a couple pairs of boots. You see a few cloaks hanging around. You see some a cabinet of rings and different things. Is there any? And you see Winnetheer, and she says, "Ah, Phil. Oh, and Mr. Ashbane. A pleasure to see you. I see you have a new compatriot. Who is this?"
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Javier.
Oh, well, a pleasure to meet you. And she reaches out her hand.
And he shakes it.
I appreciate the flourish, but please make sure that you keep your weapons sheathed while inside the shop. Can I help you gentlemen with anything today?
I'm looking just for some random things. Do you have a bag of beans by chance?
A bag of beans. Let me check my inventory. No beans here today. But I would check to see if there's anything at the Prancing markets. Those merchants have those that may have things from the wild.
Yeah.
But I did have a new set of pipes come in if you're interested.
I mean, I think your sets of pipes are fine, but I'm not necessarily looking for plumbing right now. I
Okay,
didn't even know you sold plumbing material.
okay, well, are you looking, well, oh, no, Phil. She pulls out a small wooden case and she opens them and they're smoking pipes.
Oh. No, I don't smoke. And as I say that, I pull out a little snuff bag and I put a little bit of snuff right there and just do a bump of tobacco.
I
Yeah,
see.
smoking will kill you. You
She
gotta be
closes it.
careful with those.
She closes it. It's like, well, gentlemen, is there anything in particular you're looking for? And gentlemen, again, I'd say like if you're looking for a common magic item, she probably has it. But also you could ask to see what she has that's interesting.
What
Javier is
unusual-
interested in any sort of lock picking materials you may have.
Oh, indeed. Let me see. Well, some magic keys that I might have.
Gold, do you have proficiency in lockpicking too?
Oh, I don't know, actually. Good question. Thieves' tools. So
I mean, yeah, you do as a rogue. I do as a bard.
Yeah, I also have proficiency in these tools.
There's
we're
no
sneaky as
lock.
hell.
I love it. Oh,
I
do you
think
have anything?
your background probably gives you thieves tools to start, wouldn't it?
It does. I believe you have thieves' tools
I
already.
think we all have thieves tools. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
Oh, I mean,
Um,
She
magic
does.
thieves' tools.
She does have a magic key. She holds it up and she says, this is the only magic key I have in my stock right now. I did have a good friend cast Identify on it. Essentially, it would give you a chance of unlocking any door that you try it on. It can only, it is not a guaranteed, it's a very small chance to unlock the door, but it is very useful in that sense.
I've got all the magic keys. I'm right here, and
yeah.
I tap my
It
lock
also
set.
it also does not require attunement.
Any bag of holdings by chance?
I do have a bag of holding. Yes. She actually pulls out. She pulls a bag of holding. She pulls out a. What are some other things that can hold things? She holds out a hobo sack of holding. She holds a spindle of holding.
Like a
knapsack,
like
like
on
a knapsack,
stick.
like
A little
knapsack
flush of
spindle.
holding.
She pulls out a briefcase of holding. She she has a whole bunch of things of holding.
Do you have like a bandolier of holding?
Yes.
Okay.
What is a bandolier?
Fanny pack of holding.
Yeah, it's essentially
Fanny
a
pack
of
bandolier
holding,
of
yes.
holding. Okay,
Yes,
great.
she does have a bandolier of holding.
Perfect. How much for the bandolier of holding?
A bag of holding would cost you, I'll say. Sorry, guys, 1 second. I'm just looking up the general cost of a bag of holding because I don't know it off the top of my head.
Do what you gotta do.
Oh my goodness.
Pricing magic items. Is hard. Yeah.
I'll say it will run you about 250 gold pieces.
Done deal. And I slap down 250.
Okay, add about a bag of holding to your resources, and you can mark off 250 gold.
I say, my lady, you may have noticed my fancy boots when I walked in. They're quite nice. Have you anything that might look nice with these?
Well, let me see if I can procure you some socks. She turns the corner and she comes back with a look on her face. She says, I apologize. I'm all out of magic socks, but I am actually looking to get rid of these. And she holds up some fishnet stockings.
Kinky.
I got this in a deal for some other magic items. He threw it on top, but I'm honestly willing to part with these for as little as 10 gold. These are fishnets of seduction, and they essentially give you advantage in any charisma check that's made to seduce someone.
Okay.
Wow.
Javier, he's like, He's trying not to draw attention about it, but he pays the 10 GP for
Okay.
maybe the other people don't think he buys them.
Does he put him on?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Advantage on a charisma check for seduction. Okay.
I'm in the market for perhaps a rope with a grappling hook and maybe some caltrops.
Oh, I certainly have a trick rope. And
Trick rope.
it's a very standard trick rope. You throw it up, you like can tell it to tie, and it ties, and then you tug it again, and it unties.
Those are nice.
Excellent. How much?
For this, I would say that this would run closer to 430 gold pieces.
That's expensive rope. Rope is expensive.
Rope.
It is a very practical item. They're very high in demand at this point. As you saw earlier, the tree houses, it's a very common item that I procure.
Hmm.
Well,
Maybe-
shall I say, it's a common item in demand in this town.
I might want to save up for that later on. But what about caltrops? Do you have any of those?
Caltrops, let me see. Well, would any magical trap do? I don't have actual metal caltrops. You'd have to go to a smithy for that.
We could pick those up at the prancing market.
Yes, I would say
Okay.
that there might be somebody carrying something similar to that around the prancing market. But in terms of magical traps, I could check the back.
Sure.
Phil, while I'm looking in the back, did you want to see my exclusive items today?
Sure.
I only
I
have
will
the
never
one.
say no to that.
I only have the one. And she pulls out a small little box and opens it, and inside is a dice. And the dice has, it's 20-sided face dice,
Mhm.
and it has 19 stars and one skull, one red skull, and it's like a black dice.
Ooh.
And she says, "This is the risky dice. Now, this will run you upwards of 900 gold coins,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
if you roll it before an action, it will increase the chances of you succeeding in that action. Okay? If you get a star. Okay. But if you roll a skull, all of the luck that you accrued from rolling the dice will backlash. It's a,
High
it's
risk.
it is
High
high risk,
reward.
and I will warn you, it can be fatal,
Yes.
the outcome of the red skull, but an interesting item nonetheless.
Baz dropped. Oh, he's still there. His camera's just off. I don't have 400 schmeckles, ma'am. So as much fun as this is, I think I don't have 900 schmeckles. I'm 400 schmeckles short. So I can offer you 500 gold for it, but it'll be the best 500 gold you ever received. And it'll
It's
go
the-
in.
it really makes great noise when it clings together. Yeah.
It's not regular gold,
Um,
it's special.
I will say, you can make a persuasion check if you'd like, but it's going to be a really high DC, dude. That's 400 gold that you're trying to short her on.
Yeah, no, I only got a 24 on persuasion.
Yeah, the DC for that was like 27, so I'm not gonna. No, we're
It's
okay.
okay.
And so I'm sorry, I'm not finding any magical traps. Oh well, no, here we are. She pulls out a small. Kind of looks like if like it was on a necklace, it would be like sort of an amulet, but it's essentially just a small little emblem. And it is a sort of emblem of glyph. And she holds it up and says, this is essentially a booby trap of sorts. Oh, I forget what spell this casts. One moment. She goes and grabs some components Um, and she takes a look at it. Oh, I know what spell. I know what spell it's going to be.
Cliff warding, fireball.
She casts Identify on it. She grabs like a lens and like a small crystal, and you can see like the crystal begins glowing a little bit as she casts this spell. And let me look at that spell list because I remember that it's a spell, but I forget the name of it. And this would essentially cast. Oh goodness gracious! What level is it? It's got to be like a first level or something. I know what spell it is. Sorry, guys, 1 second. I am kind of coming up with most of this on the spot.
It's quite all right, quite all right.
It's not Thorn Whip. What's the other one with the plants like shoot out and like entangle
growth?
people?
Entangle.
Is it called Entangle?
Sounds like
I think
entangle.
it's called entangle.
Mhm.
Okay,
Entangle.
it is essentially a glyph of entanglement.
Ooh,
And if a creature, and she demonstrates, she sets it on the ground and it sort of disappears into the ground. And then really quickly, like a flash shows, a magic circle appears on the ground and then disappears. You can't see the item and you can't see the glyph. If someone did cast Detect Magic, they would be able to see both this glyph and the circle. But if anyone steps in it, essentially it launches the spell Entangle.
Cool.
Okay. Does it require concentration? Is it reusable? And how much?
It does not require concentration. It can only be used once, and she sort of like reaches in and pulls it back out. So once it goes off, it is a done deal. But it will last for, I believe it only casts the spell for 10 minutes. During that time, it will be active, but once done, the glyph itself will be expended. You could bring it back to me. I can bring it to my enchanter friend, and he can put a new glyph on it. So essentially, like once it's used, it only has 1 charge on it, but you could bring it back to another like magic enchanter person and recharge it with a different spell, even.
Cool. Oh, that's cool.
Does
How
the
much?
spell? Yeah, I have a question about this thing too.
Yeah.
Are we able to enchant it ourselves by casting a spell into it?
I would say it's not quite that simple.
Okay.
You would probably need some sort of what kind of tools would that be? You would need the tools for it, or the equipment in general, and then it would also probably cost some sort of base component, which is essentially it would probably cost, like, if you did it yourself, like this item costs 350. I would say that if you were to recharge it, it would probably cost 100 gold pieces if
Interesting.
you were to do it yourself. And if you're having someone else do it, they'll probably charge a little bit more than 100 gold pieces.
I don't think at this time I need to afford this yet.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna also save my money, but this is a great item. Entangle's
Okay.
really good.
Okay, well,
Also-
gentlemen, is there anything else I can do for you?
I think that's it, unless you have a shield of missile attraction, but I don't think I want that right now. I think I'm just gonna save my money and go with my new bag of holding.
Very
Actually, it's
well.
a fanny pack of holding. It's a
Fanny pack of holding, yes. It like, yeah, it straps across you, kind of like a seatbelt.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
yes. Very well.
No bag of beans though.
No bag of beans today. I would again check the Prancing Market.
Okay, and I head to the Prancing Market.
Yeah,
Walking through, as I walk out the door, I walk out backwards.
very good.
Bill, you
Um,
weirdo.
It's just culture. You're being culturally insensitive, Skull. I'm just gonna point that out. Like, we're going to the Fey realm right now. I really don't want you to embarrass us. Like, I know that's not like it's not where you're from, but like, their culture, you have to respect other people's culture, Skull. Like, it's fine. It's
All
fine.
right, all right. Have it your
fine.
way.
Fine.
So
No.
as you walk through the city, you begin approaching the wise tree, and as you get closer, you begin to notice that it's not fully embedded into the ground. It sort of sits up on its roots. Its roots sort of begin to jut out of the ground. As you get closer to it, it sort of looks like you're still walking through the trees, but as you look around, like there's just no leaves. It's just these tall stalks of root just sort of shooting out of the ground and then forming this giant tree in the center that sort of billows out at the top. As you begin sort of walking through this, you do see a guard of the crossing. He's an Aragonasi who sits there in full armor with halberd in hands. And he does have, there's two of them. And the other is looks like a half elf kind of, but with like darker skin. They're both in full armor with halberds. They both nod. They're sort of just there in case anything random comes through, like actually dangerous, but so they're gonna let you through no problem. But they are there. And you begin crossing through the woods, and as you do, the air around you sort of becomes a little sweeter. You sort of enter the shadow of the base of this tree, and it becomes darker, and as you walk through the roots sort of begin to, they were really thick in the center, and they sort of begin to dwindle in size as you reach the outside. And as you exit the roots and re-enter the forest, the light, the town itself seems very similar. The thatched roofs, the trees, and the creatures, the people are all very similar, but you can tell that the air is just a little bit sweeter. The light seems to be a little bit more golden. And you have entered into the Feywilds. You guys are still heading. You guys are still heading to the Cranston Market.
Yeah.
Yep.
I smack my lips a couple of times and just like it's the equivalent of taking a deep breath when you get up to the forest. Just like, Faye. Just keep trotting along.
Faye. Awesome. Okay, so when you guys get to the market, it's actually very jubilant at this time of day. There are people dancing in the middle of the square, and there's like this band. It's kind of sounds like an Irish jig almost. There's a few violins really going at it. People are sort of like dancing elbow and elbow and like kicking up their heels and laughing. There's a fountain and there's a few drunkards just sort of like laugh, like literally like leaning on the fountain and like clanging mugs together. One of them's actually vomiting into the fountain. And you see a city guard just sort of and like do a little prestidigitation to get the vomit out of the water, essentially.
Nice.
But and the stalls are packed. There are people shuffling around, people calling out, nuts and berries for sale. Oh, come get your pennants here, and just a number of stalls flying through, each with different colors and patterns sort of on their cloth. They each sort of have like these two wooden stakes in front of them and like sort of a cover, and each cover sort of has like a different color and pattern to it. You do see a few that you remember. The egg store has sort of like this blue and white stripe. The flower stall that you're familiar with literally has like bright yellow daisies embroidered onto it. And at this point, I need, where's my D6? Sorry, guys, one sec. Those are my D6. Phil, I need you to make a perception check.
Perception, I have a +4 to perception. Oh, it was almost an 18. It's a 6.
Okay, well, they rolled a 3. You catch a small child, a small child. They look to be like another Ganassi, maybe water or air lineage, probably air, because they're trying to pick your pocket.
boy.
They're running. You see them reaching out to your bag of gold that's sitting on your waist, and you sort of, as you see them, you sort of swat their hand away.
Hey, you kid, where's your parents? This is just shameful.
And he just bolts away.
No, I don't want to hurt the kid.
Okay.
I was gonna say I can pull him back to me, but I don't want to do that.
I will say, you rolled an 18 for perception.
No, a 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he
But my
rolled like
passive
literally a
is
4.
14. Yeah.
Phil, your home is a lovely place.
Oh yeah. No, I mean that's just how the locals greet you here. They just want to make sure that you're ready to be not pickpocketed by seeing if you can get pickpocketed. It's really a good way of teaching.
Okay, so you guys are checking out the market.
I'll walk
I
around.
just want to buy
yeah.
some caltrops.
Okay, so Mads, make a perception check for me.
Okay. 15.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that as you glance around, you do see somewhat like a normal general store kind of wares,
Mhm.
but nothing like incredibly combatant. You trying to think. Yeah, like you see a general store and you get a feeling that maybe he'll have what you're looking for, but I mean it's like a 50-50 shot at this point.
Well, I'll try. I'll go in and ask for
Okay, so there's a
Hello.
small
Looking for
gnome running the
caltrops.
store. Caltrops. Well, let me check. And he turns
Excellent.
around and you see him dive into a little sack, and you see his little gnomish feet like kicking out and like rummaging through it, and you hear like a bunch of clanging and rustling.
I'm gonna cast guidance on this gnome as he's looking.
Hope
Give him
Okay.
an extra little
Actually,
help to find something.
That might help a little bit because he rolled a 9.
Okay,
So
so
he's doing
add a
and-
D4. My friend, try looking that direction as I touch his shoulder and cast the spell.
Yeah, he still doesn't find it. But he pulls out of the sack and he says, "Will these work?" And he pulls up scissors, like 2 pairs of scissors, and he's like, "I mean, these are kind of stabby." Yeah,
No, thank you.
they're going for a great deal.
Sorry for
You
the
can buy
trouble.
both. You can buy both. Wait. And he grabs you by the collar and he's like, "Wait. You can buy both for maybe just three gold pieces. I'll throw them in together."
3 gold.
No,
What a
thanks.
fucking rip.
I
Jesus.
leave the store
Okay.
and I just like scoff. Yeah, okay, wild.
Can I buy?
That was a good character voice, Matt. I like that.
Thank you.
Phil's gonna look around and try to buy 3 sacks of flour and 5 flasks of oil. So is there any like food place?
Yeah, you can totally get
Millers.
those things. I'd say that would run you probably like you said 3 sacks of flour and 5 flasks of oil.
Yes. Let me see what
Is Phil trying to make an IED?
like baking goods, right?
or bread. Yes.
I'd say that would run you like
Oh, really? You're gonna make
7.
bread?
Well, how much is a flask of oil?
Silver pieces.
Yeah, I mean that I'm thinking
0.1 gold piece. I can get 10 flasks for.
for one
that's
gold
what-
one
yeah.
gold piece. Yeah, so with 5 flasks of oil and 3 flasks of flour, I'm gonna say that runs you 8 silver.
I'll round it up to a solid gold.
Okay, cool. You tip the Saw Maiden. Who sort of
And I bow deeply back to her as a satyr. Only a satyr could. Like the joints
Got
are
it.
running in weird angles, but it's just with it.
Got it. Okay, what else are you guys looking for?
That's really it.
I was gonna say, I don't think I need anything unless I see anything particularly shiny or valuable.
Well, you don't see anything shiny or valuable. This is sort of like more of a general market, you know, but you do see some of the stalls that Baywin talked about. Like the egg shop, you see the flower store, you see the candy store. I don't know, do you want to check any of those out?
Nah.
Okay. Sorry guys, I'm reheating some coffee.
How dare you reheat coffee?
Okay, well, so you guys all done?
Yeah, let's head on. Matt,
Okay.
do you need anything?
Oh, did Matt step away?
I think he's getting a phone call.
This is good. I don't know. I'm having to
I
like
think I'm
reread all
good.
the ins
Sorry,
and
I
outs
was
of my class here.
just in the bathroom. I'm back.
No worries. Maz, did you want to check out any of the other stores?
No, I just wanted some goddamn caltrops. I'm good.
The one thing you were looking for, it's not there.
Of course, the thing
So
was.
typical. Are there
Okay.
any magical store vendors in the Prancing Market?
Oh, dude, everything I just mentioned, the candy store, the egg store, the flower shop, each of those are magical eggs, magical flowers, and magical candy.
Ooh.
Wait, there's eggs? They just sell eggs?
Yes, they sell magical eggs.
Let's go look at that.
I'm
That
too
sounds interesting.
curious.
Okay, yeah,
Tell me
well,
about this magical egg shop.
Okay,
Totally interested.
so you guys check out the magical egg store, and there's this very wiry haired, Harrigan. And by wiry, I mean like their hair is like way longer than like a normal Harrigan, and it sort of almost stands up.
Feral rabbit.
Wait, did you say Harrigan?
Yes.
Yeah, the rabbit thing.
Oh, I've never heard of those.
They
Rabbit
look
folk.
well into their age, and I will say, Hannah, you recognize this character because you've been here before. You recognize this as June. She runs the magic shop or the egg shop.
Hi, June.
Oh, hello. How can I help you guys?
I'm here for the goods.
Oh, I see. Well, I have 3 selections for you today. She pulls out a green egg, a blue egg, and a red egg. Do you remember how this works?
Not at all. I've encountered some recent brain damage, but that's fine.
Okay, so I will say actually, so Phil, you do remember how this works.
Oh.
These are magic eggs, and they're magic eggs that enhance a person's ability. So if you inoculate the egg, so you have to like actually like take care of the egg and warm it, and if you do well enough to raise and hatch the egg, then a magical creature will hatch from it, burst into flames, and it will give you essentially a proficiency or expertise in an ability check for 24 hours. So if you already have proficiency, it gives you expertise. If you are not proficient in the skill, it gives you proficiency for 24 hours.
That's really good.
Do you get to choose when it hatches though?
No, well, and actually the time limit you remember is based on how well you incubate the egg.
But what if I incubate it too fast and I don't need it? Like, let's say I need it in 2 days and I incubate it too well and it hatches today. Am I able to like delay the incubation?
No.
Okay. This seems like a very niche item. I'm interested.
Okay.
What does a green egg buy me?
The green egg. Each egg today is only, let's see. It's a very finicky shop. It's very fey in that sense. Some days the eggs are like $1,000, and other days they're like not anything. The eggs today, let's see here. We'll run you 300 gold pieces.
And what do the other eggs do?
I don't know. Each one is special.
So I don't even know what ability it's gonna improve.
No.
Just a crap fest. I will. And I pull out my little sack of gold and I count out 10 platinum. That's the best I can do for the egg of your choice.
10 platinum, that's 10 gold apiece?
That's 100 gold.
That's 100 gold. Ooh, platinum, ooh, make a persuasion check. They seem to be a creature that doesn't care so much about the number. And it's actually
19.
oh yeah, they're like, oh yes, gimme.
I'll put a hand on Phil's shoulder and cast guidance.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
he got it, yeah.
Oh, never mind.
They seem to
23.
be a market staller that is like way more interested into the shiny aspect of the coin and not necessarily the money aspect of the coin.
Gotcha.
Which Phil, you would know this because like literally some days the eggs are like two gold. Like it's very whimsical with like how much the eggs cost.
It's a volatile market.
Yeah.
Do I roll for what color I get?
Which one do you want? There's 3.
1 and 2 is red, 3 and 4 is green, and 5 and 6 is the last one. I got
Mhm.
red.
Okay.
1 red egg, and I will. Is it like a fragile egg or is it kind of hardier?
It's like a chicken egg. So
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
if you put it in your pocket and you bump it traveling, it will crack, and then you won't get anything out of this.
I
You
will.
don't have any kind of
I,
egg holster to sell?
I pull a scarf out of my bag of holding, and I create like a little egg hatch, like a little egg baby Bjorn, essentially, where it just sits on my chest. And there's
Okay.
a red egg now, a little red egg baby Bjorn.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
I will name you Shelly.
Okay.
My magic red egg.
Okay. Very good. Real quick, I am gonna roll right now to see what ability you'll get from it.
So it gives expertise.
If you already have proficiency,
Oh, okay. It gives proficiency for a day or expertise
yes.
in any of the various skills.
Yes.
Well, that's fun.
Cool.
Could be medicine, could be performance.
Yep. Yep.
Cool. I've
Awesome.
got Shelly all secured away in a little scarf made baby Bjorn that runs on my chest.
Okay. Very good. Okay. You guys getting anything else?
I think that's all I need.
Okay.
I look to my 2 companions and I say, well, a hunter must hunt. Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, you guys begin walking towards the edge of the city. Okay. On your way out, okay, on the other side of the gates, there's a few like guard sentries and stuff that you notice, and the gates are wide open right now. There's merchants are gathering up their packs, and they're sort of they're going to be leaving the trail here soon. And you see a small stable with horses. Phil, you know that this is actually a stable where you can rent and buy horses.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you guys want to get horses for your travel?
How many days travel do we have on foot?
You don't know. Have any of you guys checked the compass rose? Who has the rose, by the way?
I don't know.
I'll take the
yeah.
rose.
I'm not
Okay, Skull
responsible
has the
enough for
rose.
that.
Do you check it to see which direction
Yeah,
it is?
I'll check which direction is it.
Okay, so the rose actually points not perfectly down the road, but just a little bit to the left. So sort of northeast, kind of, is the
And this
direction it's
is
pointing in.
out of Silean.
Out of Silean, yeah.
And we have no sense of how far away the destination is.
Bill, you can roll a history or survival. I'll say history or survival check. You can either gleam on your ability to to locate yourself, or just your history and your previous knowledge of the Feywilds to sort of see if you know anything about this direction.
So I lean down, I pick up some dirt, taste it, throw it in the air, see what direction the wind takes it. And then I remember with a 19 survival that what's in that direction.
Okay, so in that direction, so you do know that this road actually sort of follows that general direction. It sort of
Yep.
snakes north, and it does go like west and east at times, but in general, it leads you north. And you know that if you follow this road, it'll take you to the Eldrin city of Ionor,
Mhm.
which in order to get there, you'd have to, so you cross through just general forest for the most of the trip. And you do know that there are some small like hills that essentially separate like part of this forest with the city of Yarnor. Like I won't say hills, I'll call them small mountains. Like they're not the most ridiculous mountains in the world. People cross through them all the time. But in
Mhm.
winter they can be a little treacherous because snowfall. I'd say that like right now we're probably late spring. So they should be fairly thought out by now and pretty safe to cross if you had to keep traveling that direction.
I pull the group. Do we want to go by horseback or do we want to walk it?
You would know too, Eonor is with that 19. How far away is Eonor? Eonor can be reached between 5 and 6 days, and you know that essentially traveling by horse would cut that time in half.
I'm ambivalent. I'm a walk to the forest type of guy, but if we want to make there quicker, Javier and Skull, I'll lay that to you. I relay all this information. Yeah, so the dirt basically told me that it's going to take us about 5 days to get to this town. Also, there's a sign right there that says it's a 5 days walk. But
A swift hunter is more likely to get the kill.
oh,
How
okay.
much for the horses? I walk up to the horse stand. How much to rent and how
You
much
see-
to buy?
You see an old human there. He's sort of sitting on the porch. There's sort of a stable here. To rent the horses, I would ask that you would give me 50 gold as a deposit per horse, and then another 50 gold to rent.
How much
but-
is it just to buy them?
But I would provide all food needed for your
Feeds.
trip.
Yeah.
Feeds. And I would also say that to buy a horse depends on the horse. Some are starkier, stronger, some are quicker. But in general, I usually sell my horses for around 400 gold.
Damn. I vote walk.
Yeah, let's walk. I mean, normally I would say rent, but then you're not building horse equity. And in this market, it's all about building equity. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. There are 3 of you, so that would be 3 horses. I would say for the $50 gold deposit, I could rent the horses for as low as 25 today, since there are so many of you.
75 gold each.
Sounds fine.
And you
Whisper,
would get,
whisper.
and remember, if you bring back the horse safe, you would get your deposit back.
Whisper, whisper, whisper. I'm on board.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
I hand the
I-
man 75 schmeckles.
Okay.
I look for probably the smallest horse they have. I'm not exactly tall. I'm pretty short actually. So anything on the borderline of like a pony would even work well.
Okay, so you do find like a smaller adult horse. It's brown in color, and its hooves sort of have like this black, like darker, like hair leading up to it, but then it sort of becomes like this like brown tan color.
Mhm.
So you do find one like that. I would say there's also 2 other just normal size adult horses, and they're both like a deep darker brown, more like a mahogany brown.
Hmm.
This
Is there one
is
that
the-
looks particularly like a donkey?
There's a mule. There's a mule.
I'll
You can
take the
ride
mule.
All right, Dave.
This is the
I'll
Fey
ask
realm.
I'll ask the horse guy. Do any of them come in black?
There is a black one. It would just take me a few moments to prepare its saddle and reins.
I'll take the black one.
Are there any
One
like
second,
this
guys.
is the Fey
Let me
realm?
change my microphone.
Are there any like corgi-esque horses that are like kind of short but long?
What is happening here?
Or yes.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. My headphones.
Did you hear my question?
Oh, what was your question?
Phil is looking for a horse that's short to the ground but still long, so something resembling a corgi.
There's nothing like that, no. There are no corgi horses in the Feylands.
Phil, you've got such strange
This
ideas.
is not canon.
This is not a unusual request. Everyone knows that courses are very common in the Fey realm, and they're adorable. You know, long ponies, also known as lonies. Yeah, they were invented by the court of Fang and Tooth. Not one of their brightest inventions, but you know, it's hard to just trump the what they've been doing lately. Anyway.
I
I'll get
named
on-
my horse Ludwig.
Ludwig? Okay.
I named my horse Cannon Fodder.
Mine's just donkey.
Okay. You guys set off?
We take off.
We
Okay.
set off in the direction of the compass rose.
Okay, so you guys are heading down the thing. You guys begin your journey. So
Yeah.
I am gonna critical roll this. So every day, one of you, we're gonna take turns, roll a d20 to see if anything happens. On the way back, we're just gonna roll one d20 unless you guys want to do the whole journey sequence again.
Journey sequences could be fun. Who gets to go
We'll
first?
see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
I'll roll first. This way, gentlemen.
Who
Just a
went
D20?
first? Yeah, Skull,
Oh,
you're going
I
first.
Yeah.
All right, roll a d20.
15.
15. Okay. All right.
As we're traveling, I'll ask Phil. So, Phil.
Yes,
Oh wait, no, I wanted to ask
Javier.
Javier. Javier. Tell me
Yes,
about
sir.
yourself.
Oh, there's not much to tell. I was raised in the Darkfen Isles. Had a good life growing up. That is until pirates attacked our family's convoy. Then things got a little rough for me.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, how about yourself?
I'm from the deep wild forest, the woods.
What
I'm,
race is
something-
Cole, by the way? Did I miss that?
He's a shifter.
I'm a shifter, but I don't know if you know that yet.
I don't know that. Okay.
He
But he looks human.
presents. He's human passing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. From the
A
deep wild.
fuzzier human. Than you.
Yeah. I'm mostly totally covered, but every now and then you can see like kind of like hair.
Yeah.
poking
Skull,
out.
actually, really quickly, roll a deception check, and Chrisley roll an insight check.
Okay.
And so I'll say that you do know he's a shifter, right?
I rolled an 8.
I don't know.
I
he's
also
a
rolled an
shifter.
8.
I've traveled with him for.
Rollies, do it again.
I got I got a 3. No, I got a 1 on my intelligence check. So I actually don't know he's a shifter.
I mean,
I got
Skull,
11 this time.
have you ever shifted in front of Phil on one of your previous missions?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
you're
Oh,
aware.
sure.
You're aware.
Nope.
This
was
time I rolled much better. I have a 23.
Okay.
That beats me.
So actually, Chrisley, what I'm gonna say is like because his clothes like cover all of him and his hat even sort of like covers his ears. like,
Yeah.
like you're having difficulty really pinning what he is, whether he's
Okay.
like,
But he's got like
Like, you're
5
pretty-
fingers and toes, and
yeah, he's got 5
Two
fingers and
arms.
toes. You can't really glean much else information. You kind of figure that he's probably not Ganassi because his skin color is very like material plain, right? It's like a normal it's a somewhat normal pigmentation, but his eyes are really interesting. And that kind of makes you feel like elvish, but then also like everything else just sort of seems
not
so-
normal.
yeah, so you're kind of like, what? But he says that he's from the deep wild, and that does ring a bell because you've traveled a lot of the southern seas, and you know of the deep wild, and as you travel, like you have traveled in the mouth of Wise, and you have known not to go up the river that runs from the mouth of Wise north into the deep wild. You know of people who have tried before, and it has only ended in
Yeah, I don't think I like that. I don't think I'm happy with the.
yeah.
I mean, I'm
You're
not
kind of
happy with. I'm just a little wary. I'm like,
yeah, it's kind of suspicious. You haven't really met too many people who have actually come from the deep wild.
yeah. And then I'll ask. Well, so you two have worked together, yeah?
Yeah, for like years.
Yeah. Well, tell me
Yes,
about that. How did that come to be?
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Mhm. Well, it is. Like sometimes we get a name and they don't tell us where it is. And sometimes they give us a location, they don't tell us who. And sometimes we just get a what, and they're like, just go bounty hunt it. And I don't even know what the word bounty actually means. I thought bounty was someone's name first off, like this
Hmm.
big lumberjack was the first guy that we went after. And I just thought his name was Bounty. He was really good at picking things up, but yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
I remember I met Phil when I was actually contracted to hunt him down. I met him and he made me laugh, and I realized he wasn't all so bad. So we ended up teaming
Wasn't
up
worth the
and taking
coin.
down the contract giver together,
Yeah.
who ended up being a very corrupt person.
Mhm.
Obviously,
common
I've
with
worked.
it.
I've worked a job or two in my time, mostly on the taking of objects side of
Ooh.
things, less of the taking of people.
You have a set of certain skills.
I have a set of certain skills. Yes.
Oh,
Bum,
fascinating.
bum,
What?
bum.
Who has been your frequent employer?
Well, I wouldn't say the Thieves Guild necessarily, but I was a part of a group of individuals who were perhaps sticky fingered and had some scarred knuckles down in Darkven. Do jobs from time to time for the Thieves Guild.
I hate it when I get
Excellent.
sticky fingers. Sometimes I need to wash them off extra hard.
Or pause, as it may be.
And by the way, since I forgot to clarify, what is in your bag of holding, by the way?
I just moved everything from my backpack over.
Okay, so everything. Okay, cool.
I still have potions in my backpack for easy access.
And coin.
And I will split up my coin. I'm splitting up my coin into multiple bags.
Okay.
So
As we are traveling, can I just keep an eye out to see if I notice anything out of the ordinary or
Yeah,
dangerous?
roll a perception check.
Nice, 24.
4. Well, so as you're traveling, you sort of see the forest begin to thin out a little bit. They're less thick, tall pines and more thinner spruce sort of trickled in. And you don't see anything that catches your eye. You do see like a lot of bugs like in the glints of the light as the sun's setting. And you see a bunch of birds getting like their last minute meal in, sort of just swooping in and out of the bugs. They're very colorful, elegant birds. And you find that a little interesting. You don't smell anything that's particularly interesting. Your first day of travel essentially goes mostly undisturbed.
Mhm,
Cool.
mhm.
Like to see it.
Nice.
So as you notice that, you do see the sun begin to go down. Do you guys want to take a look in look to see there as you again the forest is sort of clearing out. So off to the side of the road, there's a lot of sort of space essentially where you could like sit and set up camp. There's enough room between the trees to sort of do that. Nothing that provides like significant cover, although there is some like taller grass like around.
Can I
It's a-
look around for what I think would be like the best camping spot in terms of like being able to defend an area? Or
Sure.
like something
Well,
somewhat hidden.
I will say like you do see like a tree that's like fallen over, and that log could, if you slept on the other side of it, could provide cover from the road if anyone was to attack you from that direction.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think this is a good spot by this log.
Perfect.
Okay. Are you guys setting up a fire? What are you guys doing? How are you guys setting up camp?
Phil will walk around the perimeter a couple of times and he'll light a fire. And then once he has some ash, like, you know, from the fire, he'll run that around the perimeter. Just so there's like a little like line, an ash fence of where we are. Oh, I forgot to pick up salt. That's okay. And then I'll just sit down next to the fire, crisscross applesauce, but it looks really weird because I have goat legs.
DM, is the moon out? Is there a moon in the Feywild?
There is a moon in the Fey. The reflection of the moon and the sun both exist in the Fey, and the Shadowfell. The moon in the Fey is very similar. I'm trying to remember what we called the moon in this game here. Give me just one moment. Yes, you can see where is that person? You do see Mina. You do see Mina in the sky.
Okay.
She is sort of a crescent right now.
Okay.
She
Um,
is the new moon at this point.
Cool. Before I bed down for the night, I'll just turn towards the moon and like pray facing it, and I'll just say, Goddess Mina, may your moonlight shine upon me throughout this journey.
Duly noted.
Okay.
Could I attempt to hunt some small animals just to feed my sword?
Make a perception check.
Perception. That's persuasion. Oh, nope, 7.
Yeah, the you do not see any small animals or prey around.
Mm.
Javier
Alright.
kind of gets ready to bed down, but he makes sure to have his hand cannon
Yeah.
close
You-
to hand. And
You do hear
Go ahead.
your sword's voice in your head, and he says, "Oh, don't worry about me, man. I'm gonna be okay."
Okay. And
By the way.
I
By the way, dude, I'm glad we're hanging out with that skull guy again. He really kicks ass.
yeah, he's pretty cool. Do I hear the sword telepathically or okay?
It's in your head. He
And
can.
do I respond telepathically or do I
You
just talk
can.
out loud to the sword?
You can choose if you'd like to just talk to your sword.
I thought that sword voice was going to be Obama at
It's
first.
cool.
Where you're going with that?
If you want to flavor that way, that's fine. In school, you wouldn't like know that like Bill is kind of weird that
So-
way. That he just talks to his sword. You've never. The sword can speak verbally.
Yeah,
It can.
I talk
So
out
do
loud to
I-
the sword.
Have I seen this sword before?
Yeah, Bill carries it with him
Okay.
like all the time.
And do I know that he talks to his sword?
Yeah, Phil, would you say that like on your previous adventures you had like talked to your sword and stuff?
Oh, I always talk out loud to it, but it's a one-sided conversation you usually hear of like, yeah. But it's
I
the
know.
Fey realm.
Just listen
It's-
here.
No, like within the realm of crazy in the Fey realm, this is like nothing. This is casual.
Yeah, you sort of Skull, you sort of like look at it and you're like, oh man, I guess satyrs, man. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Satyrs are weird. Like,
Fucking satyrs.
Yeah.
When I bed down for the night, I'll like walk around in like circles before like getting in my most comfiest spot.
Are you guys, is anybody keeping watch?
I'll keep watch
I'll-
with my sword.
Do we
Okay,
take
so-
turns or does like one person keep watch?
Phil, I'll stay if you just want to sort of keep watch. Where is that stat block?
Oh yeah, can you send me the sword stat block?
I sent it via text. Give me just one moment to look it up. I sworn I sent it via text.
I have a docent stat block. That's it.
Maybe. I sworn I sent it though. No, I did.
I bet you he's got better.
He gets
Is it
plus
du-
2 to his wisdom checks.
It's not Delfinger, is it?
Yeah, it's Delfinger.
Okay, Delfinger. Finesse.
He gets
Cool.
plus 2 to his wisdom checks.
Okay, perception.
Mhm.
I'm actually just gonna have him help me because I have better than that.
That's fine. How does he help you? He's a sword.
So
I will
I'll plant
because this will become a broken mechanic. I am going to ask you to describe it to me now, how he helps you, to sort of see if you can actually get advantage on it.
So I'm not good at staying up late, and essentially, as I start to doze off with him in my hand, like the thorns will start to appear in the scabbard, and like just gently wake me up, like kind of like when you're drifting off on the side of the road and your car starts to vibrate. It's that it like
I like that.
gently points me back awake.
Okay, I'll allow it this time to roll with advantage. Go ahead.
21.
Ooh, does that be? Okay, so so you don't see anything at first, okay, but all of a sudden you do think you see like a small amount of movement in the grass. You think you might pick out something, but then it doesn't, it sort of goes away and you're like, what? Wait.
Hmm?
Hmm?
What?
You do anything about it? You you might see something.
In the grass?
Yeah, just like maybe you have night vision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so-
think I do.
So
I don't think satyrs do.
ooh, okay. Wait, ooh. So should we
Which
have
is
made
bad.
that roll at disadvantage then?
So that it would cancel. If that's the case, my first perception was a 19.
Okay. Yeah, so in that case, yeah, I mean you think you see something, but you sort of come to the conclusion that it was nothing at one point.
You know what I'll do? I want to cast plant growth
Sure.
all around us. In a 100-foot radius, our campsite becomes super overgrown all around us. And I know there's like a little path that I know that'll take us back to the road, but it's all convoluted in a maze like. But that's
Alright.
it.
Okay. That'll definitely help
spell.
keep some of like the bigger, like I'll say this, like it grows up. And I mean, there's definitely still like little small holes in the thing, but that you're not too worried about because this is really going to be something that like keeps like the bigger beasts out and at bay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. We'll ask this: is it concentration?
It's not. It's just a one action, and within a 100-foot radius of me, so that's 100 feet in every direction, it becomes quadruple difficult terrain. Every 1 foot of movement through that becomes 4 feet of required effort.
Got it.
Great
Okay.
spell.
Does that end your watch?
That ends my watch.
Okay. Who do you wake up?
I'll wake up Javier.
All right. Happy to do that. I do like a cat stretch before I get up. Like on all
Amazing.
fours. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Javier, go ahead and roll perception for me.
You got it, dude. Let me find my perception here. Oh, I got pretty good. That's gonna be 24.
Ooh, okay, very good. Okay. Ooh, okay. So Javier, as you look around,
Cat eyes.
all of a sudden in the middle of this plant growth, you see a small sort of cat figure with deer antlers coming out of its head. And it's looking right at you. It is sort of caught in the growth, but it is actually sort of working and making its way through. It's a small creature, so it's sort of weaving its way through the plant growth. It kind of looks like it got caught in the plants whenever Phil like made the spell happen, and now it's sort of weaving out as it enters, and it sort of hops out and lands in the grass right in your camp, so inside of the ring of the plants, and it's still looking at you.
Do I know anything about this from my knowledge of the Feywilds?
Make a nature check.
Okay. Oops.
Nature, yeah, nature. We'll do nature.
16.
I'll say with the 16, you do recognize this as a face stag.
A face stag. Okay. Do I know anything else about it? Are they dangerous?
They are not necessarily
Are they a
dangerous.
good omen?
They are a fairly neutral creature. They're not bad. You know that they're magical creatures, but you don't know much else about
Okay.
them.
Then I say, well, hey there, little buddy. I can stick a little hand out for him to sniff.
It walks up to you and it takes a sniff of you, and all of a sudden it hops up on you and it hops up on your shoulder.
Okay.
And it does a little meow, and all of a sudden you see like this green flash in its eyes, and you're levitated 20 feet up in the air.
What?
Amazing.
Okay. Is the cat still on my
And-
shoulder?
And all of a sudden you look down and you're standing in the air, and you recognize this feeling. It's your boots.
Oh, what? Did it just activate my boots?
It activated your boots.
Whoa.
From there, it hops down.
Oh my gosh.
gracefully.
Like,
It hops down gracefully, and then you see it sort of like moving over towards Phil's bag of holding, and it sort of
Hey.
and it starts sticking its head in and
get out of there.
Do I
I
hear
definitely start
it?
yelling at this point. I start
Bill,
trying to
how
yell and
many-
make noise.
You have a pearl of power in there, correct?
The pearl of power is on my person.
It's okay. So it's rummaging through Phil's clothes. Phil, I want you to make a perception check at disadvantage real quick because you're asleep.
Oh no.
Okay, but I'm definitely being like, hey, like, guys.
7.
Okay, so you don't wake up, and so I will say I'll have it make a sleight of hand check against your perception real quick. It beats it.
Okay.
So
Oh,
it has its hands on the pearl. It has the pearl sort of like in its teeth.
Yes.
And but you wake up. What do you do?
I immediately cast. Ooh, this might hurt. I'm gonna cast Thunderstep. I got freaked the fuck out. So I immediately Thunderstep and I appear 300 feet away and I dish out 3d10 damage.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll that damage. Or
It,
go
Is that
ahead.
AoE?
it has to make a con save, a 17 con save.
It succeeds.
So it beat a 17?
Yeah.
Okay, so it takes 8 damage.
Okay, so it takes
So-
8 damage.
But I'm
Thunderstep
gone with
causes
my
the
ring.
noise. It's
Oh,
heard
yeah.
up to 300 feet away, so I'm
Yeah.
awake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're awake. I just call so that you woke up when Javier
What's
like,
going on?
guys, what? But it is going to it's startled. It still has the pearl in its mouth.
Oh, it got the pearl off?
Yeah, I got the pearl off. That was your perception versus its sleight of hand.
That's what I was
Um,
trying to do with the Thunderstep, is to just teleport with my pearl. Okay. So
Let
I
me
wouldn't
see.
have gone as far.
Okay, that's fine. Let me pull up its stat again. All of a sudden, I will say, so after it does that, oh man, I'm trying to find you guys' character sheets so that I know what magic items you have on your person.
Oh,
Oh
I
shit.
can just tell you, I have those fishnets.
Yeah, that's true.
I've got
And
You have
those.
those boots.
I got boots, and I've got rapier of resizing, which can change the size, of my sword.
That's true. Skull, what do you have?
I've got the wild magic, the feral magic bracers, and the +1 shield.
Feral magic bracers and +1 shield. And Phil, what do you have?
That was it.
Just the pearl.
Just the
Okay.
pearl and the bag of holding itself.
I'm gonna say, all of a sudden, after it takes that damage from the thunderstep, you see it smoky disappear. It's done a misty step.
Okay.
Which Phil, you recognize because
Ah.
you've seen similar skills from other Fey beings. But you also know that things can only misty step in a short range around.
Yep. I'll immediately try to make a perception check and hunt it down.
What was your previous perception check? Oh no, that was at mid
7 to wake up.
You're asleep.
Yeah.
School, I want you to make a perception check, and Phil, you can make a perception check.
15 from me.
Ooh, 19
Okay.
for me.
I'm gonna say that Phil, you see it, and it is attempting to sort of run across, like at the very top of your plants, and it's trying to sort of dart around. But with the pearl in its mouth, you're seeing that it's sort of like it's not moving as quickly as it wants to be.
Mhm.
So it's only about, I'll say the Misty Step got it like 30 feet away, and now it's like probably 35 feet. So it's still got quite a bit of plant to like work. its
Well,
way.
I'm 20 feet in the air, right?
You're 20 feet in the air. I'll say that you're actually above the.
So do I see
I'm like-
which direction it's gone?
Yeah, you see it heading.
All right, well, I pursue it.
Okay,
What the fuck is going on?
I would like
It's like
to,
you're in the air.
if I can see it, I'd like to misty step right in front of it and attack it twice with my
well,
rapier.
I'll say that your Misty Step gets you right next to it, but you're behind it. Javier, you're also sort of running up to it, and you see Phil push into it. And Phil, I need you to make 2 attack rolls.
First one's a 27.
That'll hit.
Second one's a 12.
That will miss.
Okay. The first attack does 15 points of damage.
Yeah, it's
It's a hair.
it was really harmed by the thunderstep to begin with, which is
Oh,
why it was
beautiful.
trying to run away in the beginning. So yeah, you just with a single swipe of your sword, I'll say, just you lop its head off, and in one fell swoop, the head sort of like flies through the air, and it like drops the pearl, and you catch the pearl of power back from your hand.
Hey, Delfinger, I caught dinner.
Yeah, and you see the blood of the face stag, a glistening red in the moonlight, just sort of suck into the sword.
Cool. I would like to I'll bring the thing back to the fire and I'll start roasting up,
Oh wait,
some
no, Phil.
face tag.
Can I have at least a leg before you?
Sure.
ruin it?
Actually,
Uh,
Skull,
raw.
would you like to make a survival check to see what sort of harvestables are on this?
Oh sure, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so go ahead and make a survival check.
18.
Oh yeah, I'd say you easily get the antlers, which
Okay.
you know from your own hunting experience that face stags very, very rarely like even make their way into the deep wild. So you have heard of people hunting the face stags before. When one is spotted in the past, you know of it has become sort of a challenge. Like there's sort of like a mini, I want to say almost like a carnival at your, well, or like a competition in your village where the best trappers try to be the one to trap and capture the face stag, because you can't really hunt it so much as you can, like as you would just try to like trap it essentially, but it's a big
Mhm.
deal. One hasn't been seen near the village in over 300 years though, so it's fairly rare.
This is a rare find.
So you
Is there
know
any kind
that-
of like taboo against killing them though?
no, there's no sort of taboo like that. Skull, I will say with your knowledge of that, you know that they're creatures of
Mhm.
magical being, and they have a great affinity towards magic items and specifically objects. They sort of collect magic items, which is
Ooh.
probably why this one was trying to steal Phil's pearl. It wanted it for itself essentially, but they're also attuned to magic so well that they can activate magic items without needing to wear them, so long as they're within a certain.
Oh. Very nice.
That makes sense.
These antlers could
Um,
come in handy.
Those
Potentially.
antlers, you don't remember off the top of your head, but those antlers likely have some sort of magical effect. You would have to find someone to either tinker or craft with it, though, likely to really get the full effect out of them.
Okay. All right. So I'll harvest those antlers and I'll like keep them in my backpack. They'll be like poking out. And I'll
You
ask.
guys want to eat the meat? You
I ask-
can. The meat's totally normal though.
I ask Phil Phil, can
Yes.
I have a leg before you ruin it?
So, I mean, first off, I resent the implication that I'm just going to ruin this. You know,
Give it to me raw.
fine. I'm not going to judge you. I know plenty of people who like their steaks bloody rare. If you want to eat your venison, your fave venison rare, that's your choice. And I hand him the leg.
Okay, I pull down my cowl and you guys see that I have like sharp rows of teeth and I just dig into the leg.
Yeah.
Uncooked.
Javier, you're looking at this like, what?
I mean-
now you're really confused at what this guy is. Like,
Yeah. I don't think that it's common for tabaxi to eat just raw meat, but
no, it's not.
yeah, I'm a
I'd say,
little taken aback.
like you're familiar with people having sharp teeth, like Tabaxi has.
Yeah, sure, I do. Yeah,
But like this
But
guy,
these are,
like,
like-
his teeth are like they're very, very. They're almost like triangles. Like
Ooh.
Got particularly sharp canines.
yes, they're very like I don't know how to describe it. Skull, you can describe your teeth. That's fine.
They're like
Fairly
they're
wide.
just sharp fangs.
Yeah. Okay. Are you guys doing anything else?
Nah, I'll eat and go back to bed.
Anyone else keeping watch?
Yeah, if there's one last shift, I can keep watch.
Sure. Roll perception.
Okay,
I'm here, but I'm muted.
nice. I got a 21.
Cool. Yeah, nothing happens. You hear an owl.
Okay.
You see the owl. The owl looks at you. You look at the owl. The owl flies away.
Okay. And
Wait,
before
I'm sorry,
my
I-
watch,
I had to look this up because I was just imagining this, but this is what I was thinking of.
I can't see it. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. No, probably more Lupin than that. But yeah.
yeah, it's I've got a wolfish mouth. Before my watch ends, I would like to cast the spell Commune. I'll face towards the moon and I'll pull some incense out of my pack and light the incense, and I will sort of get into like a praying position, and I'll say, "Moonlit Goddess, I beseech you for your wisdom. I ask you, is this new companion, Javier, is he a worthy ally?"
What does the Moonlit Goddess know about me?
Let me look up that spell. You said it's commune.
Commune, yeah.
Hmm. There doesn't seem to be an answer right now.
Okay. Okay. I get 2 more questions. So I'll also ask, is our enemy, Vendralia. Is she on this plane?
You hear no response.
Okay.
Which,
One more question.
So one thing I'm going to say here is like the signs of the gods are very fickle. You have a decent relationship with yours, so you know that no response isn't necessarily no response. It might just mean that the answer is no, so that they're showing you a sign that so that they don't show you a sign to answer essentially in the affirmative.
Okay.
So these two no's that I've given you could mean no, or it could mean I'm not going to answer right now.
Okay. Last question. Is my son, Fenris, is he on this plane?
No response.
Great.
God, they're fickle.
Your guard got some pretty low ass rolls, dude. Like,
Okay, that's the end of my watch.
okay. So you guys wake up, you break camp, and you begin your travels again today. Skull, you rolled the last d20.
Yeah.
I want to say Javier, batter up.
All right, watching again. Oh, I'm rolling for the travel, right?
Rolling for the travel.
All right. Just a straight roll on the d20. Well, I rolled a 1.
Great.
Oh, I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm trying out a different set of dice because my other ones seem to be not good.
Where did Matt go?
I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Never mind.
He's rolling up the combat.
What terrible things. We all
What
break our
terrible
legs.
things. It's
Day
not
two.
necessarily a bad thing. It wasn't a combat roll. Just rolled a
Day two.
1.
I will say for these rolls, ones aren't necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
So
Okay.
as you guys are traveling, does anyone want to make a perception check?
I
Sure.
would love to make a perception check.
Skull, roll a perception check.
That's a natural 20.
Natural
Nice,
20.
nice, nice.
Amazing.
For a fat 29.
Woo.
You are very heightened today. After your brush with the face tag, you recognize that the Feywild, you knew of the risks of the Feywilds, but you're certainly more attuned. And what I'll say is, you, even with your sharpened senses, you sense nothing of danger throughout the day. As you walk through the woods, following the path, you don't encounter any sort of issues that you see.
All right.
I will also say that you do spot towards the end of your journey one of the most ideal campsites you've ever seen. Inside of this tree, its roots are lifted up, sort of like the wise tree, but they sort of enclose upon each other to sort of make this safety, like a coven, sort of hidden inside of it, that would provide you shelter from a multitude of different things.
This is the best campsite I've ever seen.
Yeah, okay, maybe not that. But like, let's camp here.
Yeah.
Actually, don't. Why are you listening to your DM? No, just kidding. But yeah, so nothing happens on the second day of travel. I will say,
All right.
with 2 days of travel, you do also perceive a slight cooling in the air. Slight cooling in the air. Phil, you would know that you're probably getting close to the mountains that separate the forest from Ianor. You guys are getting close, for sure. You probably venture that you'd reach the mountains within another day and that you would reach Ianor in another day after that. Since it'd probably take 3 to 4 days with horses, you're Or you could even potentially, if the mountains are favorable, cross the mountains in a single day.
I share this news. I look around, I lean over, I pick up some dirt, taste it, throw it in the air, see where the wind takes it. And we probably got about another day of travel if we huff it or hoof it. If you know, you'll excuse my
Yeah.
Seder
I will,
pun.
I will say for brevity too that you guys are keeping track of the compass rose, and that for now it seems that the path is still sort of following itself. Yeah.
It makes sense.
All right, I guess we bed down for the night.
Yep,
Anybody keeping watch?
I'll take it first.
Okay, Javier, go ahead and roll perception.
15.
Okay, I'll say that you don't notice anything of note. You see probably, you think you see some things flicker in the shadows, but upon like you stand up, you walk over to it, and it's just a tree rustling. It does begin to lightly drizzle where you're at, and the water as it hits you is very cold. So you sort of have to like take shelter underneath the tree as it's sort of clinging to your fur and beginning to make you feel a little chilly.
I definitely don't like that. Yeah.
Who's taking next watch?
I'll take next watch.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
No way, that's persuasion. Perception. Oh, that's still great. 20, dirty 20.
30-20.
Nice.
You feel as the night goes on, the rain picks
Also-
up a little bit.
As part of my like nightly ritual, I will cast again before we all go to bed. I'll cast another plant growth all
Okay.
around us to really obscure our campsite and make it very difficult for anything to try to get to us.
Got it. I will say, like, once again, you stay up. And actually, for whatever reason, tonight you seem to have more energy than usual. You are looking around. You see no danger, and sort of relaxes you. The rain hitting the leaves. There's a certain chill in the air,
Mhm.
which is kind of comforting to you. The way it sort of clings to your breath, I'd say.
I do like a weird shiver where it like starts at the top of his body and like goes all the way down, and his tail kind of flicks out and flicks off some of the water.
Yeah, I'll say that. I'll say that ends your watch. We don't have too much going on tonight, it seems. Although
Then I
Skull,
wake up the last guard.
All right. I'll roll perception then.
the Skull, as go ahead and roll perception.
I got a 12.
I'll say that your hunter's instinct tells you that with this cold rain, not too many things are going to be out about. Very few things will be trying to brave this sort of chilling rain that's really begun to pick up. And actually in the morning, it even gets heavier. So by the time you all wake up, it is raining pretty strongly, which may dampen your travels a little bit. We'll see. But you guys breaking camp and heading out?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Okay, Adam, you're up. Last D20.
Oh,
Well, maybe
boy.
last D20. We'll see.
It bounced onto another die. Okay, I'm gonna stop bouncing it from such a height because I fall off the table. 7.
7. Okay.
Die.
Okay.
There's just a random D20 now on the ground somewhere in my apartment. walking along, talking to my sword. I'd like to think at night when it's me and my sword, I just have like long conversations, and you guys only hear one half of the conversation. Just me talking with the sword. Um,
Okay. So I'll say that as you guys walk around or walk through, one thing that you do begin to notice is that the rain, the path begins to ascend, and as you sort of clear out of the forest again begins to sort of thin even further. So instead of these light spruce, you sort of begin to see smaller baby trees and more spread out until you sort of reach the foot of these small mountains, which are covered in snow. And Phil, for you, it's weird to see them still so frozen in. And the rain sort of begins transitioning into like this light snowfall. And for this time of year, for late spring, things should start, it should be a little bit easier, but it seems like you've encountered some sort of unluck with the mountains. But so are you guys ready to continue forward, or do we need to make a perception check or anything like that?
I would love to keep an eye out.
Okay. And here, Maz, for the sake of brevity, I'll just say that with your passive perception, you don't see anything that's going to be of danger as you're walking along the trail here.
Perfect.
I will say, so you guys begin walking up this mountain. Okay. And as you're sort of winding through the mountainous path, it's beginning to really get cold. It's getting colder and colder. And as you're winding up the path, Mazich, I'll say that you begin to smell the scent of a fire, essentially. And peeking up at the sky, you see a large stack of black smoke. And as you smell more, you smell something interesting. You smell the scent of burning hair on the flames.
That's not good.
Okay. I'll tell my allies, I see smoke and it smells like burning hair. I think we should investigate, but perhaps stealthily, just in case something is amiss.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely
I say we
stealthy.
stealth up. Should we tie the horses
dismount.
off? Yeah.
Sure, if you guys want to tie off your horses, that's totally fine. I'll say that you see some rocks over on the side that you can lash your reins to, and now so that you know that the horses won't move away.
And before we begin our approach, I'll tap Phil on the shoulder and I'll give him Blessing of the Hunter, which gives him advantage on stealth checks for the next hour.
Okay.
Perfect.
So are you guys stealthing up to the fire?
Yeah, and I'll also actually cast Enhance Ability on myself, Dexterity, to improve my stealth.
Sounds good. All right, so you guys are stealthing up toward the fire.
Yep.
Okay, I need stealth checks.
I got dual 24s.
Okay,
Nice.
24, not bad.
I got 16.
I got
Okay.
12.
Hey, so
What's your bonus to stealth?
6, but I rolled a 4 and a 6.
Okay.
dude.
Oh, you did it advantage?
Yeah, because I cast Enhance Ability on myself.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah. Is that just on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will say, you guys are pretty concealed. What you're doing is, Skull, you're leading the way because you noticed the smoke. The smoke. So as you entered up to the path, the smoke was sort of rising off from the left. So you guys there's sort of this, I'll say like they're almost like cliff faces. There are these two slopes that sort of come down to the path, and you're sort of walking along the edge of one of them. And as you move forward, The smell becomes more pungent, and the path sort of curves off in one direction. It sort of opens up into sort of a more clearing part of the mountain where there's less slope. It's sort of like a small little mini plateau of sorts. And as you left in this sort of section, you see a bunch of small huts, essentially made out of wooden logs. And you see a giant bonfire in the middle, and you see about 7 or 8 bugbears surrounding the fire. They're all dressed in warm clothes, and they're shivering around the fire. And you see some of them throwing dead bugbears. All right. Well, I'll still say that this is your passive perception that you're doing. You're seeing dead bugbears onto the fire. And I do want you to make another perception roll.
All right. 15.
I'll say with that too, you as you're sort of looking at these huts, you can see a few have been like caved in by snow. And have been have been blown over, essentially. And what do you guys do?
Can we hear anything?
I'll say you can't hear anything, but you can see one bugbear is has its paws sort of over its face. And it's looking away from the fire, and you see another bugbear grabbing it, trying to console it.
I whispered to the group, I don't know if we need to be stealthy. I think they need our help.
Maybe we should send one person out and have some in reserve.
I'll go.
Good thinking, Javier. I agree. Phil should go.
I walked forward, trot on forward, and I try to see who's the leader of the group.
You see an older bugbear. He has sort of this green. He has this. Well, I'll say he has this white hide sort of cloak, and he's carrying a walking stick. You definitely recognize this as maybe an older. You're not certain that he's the leader, but he's definitely definitely the eldest. So if you approach this guy, you certainly can. You say
I
anything?
will, without stealthing, walk up, so I'm not sneaking up on them, and I bow incredibly deeply, as is tradition. I look at him and I look around and I say, "Smells like burnt hair."
They all sort of are caught off guard by you. They look around and they are caught off by your bow. But the village leader says, "Well, indeed it does." Can I? Sorry, I'm trying to get into my voice here. That's not gonna work. He's got really low grumbly voice, kind of.
Cool.
It's can I help? And actually, he sort of coughs like that.
I apologize because it looks like I have interrupted what appears to be some mourning right here. Is there anything I can do to help out? And what happened?
Well, that's a long story. Are you travelers? Are you traveling through the mountains?
I'm just traveling all solo, just by myself, all vulnerable. Yeah, but I'm helpful. I've been in a tussle or two. I can help. Also a little gifted.
I appreciate it. Well, first of all, traveler, I would say you're better off walking down the mountain today, starting your journey fresh in the morning. The mountain has been harsh at night.
Ooh.
Storms have been blowing through quite regularly, even in the midst of spring. And as he's coughing and thing, you sort of see that this poor old bugbear maybe is kind of sick. And looking around, now that you're closer to all of them, you see that they're all sort of thin, gaunt. They're not in very good shape. But You see, so you actually see a third hut that's still completely covered in snow, and you see
Mhm.
two that have sort of been dug and like excavated out. He turns to you and says, if you're offering help, we need to get Boris's family out. And he gestures towards the third hut. And he says, and we need to give them their rights. And he gestures towards the fire.
I don't sense any like deception or malice coming from this guy towards me, do I?
Make an insight check.
8.
I'll say that no malice, no deception.
Okay. I will cast message to Skull and Javier and just fill them in. Like it just seems like they had a rough go of the night. It seems like there was some extreme weather. And fill them in.
He sees you cast the spell, and he said, I thought you said you were traveling alone.
Yeah, I lied. I didn't trust you. But now I do. Do you want our help to get the bodies out or not?
I suppose that's a wise policy. Yes, we would very much like your compatriots' help as well, if that's possible.
What caused all the snowfall?
See, we have been living in these mountains a long time. The snow is not unusual to us, but this winter has been colder and crueler than most, and it has lasted well past its usual season. It's unusual. During the season, one of our wise men believes that we may have accidentally chopped down a grove of dryad trees and have been cursed. But unfortunately, he looks at one of the he looks at one of the huts, and it's sort of more of a bigger hut. That you can tell was probably used more in ceremony and such. That had essentially been taken out by probably one of these snowstorms that he's talking about. So he turns to you and says he was unable to lift the curse. We have sent hunters into the mountains to try to find the source of it, but we have lost them as well. This that you see is all that remains of our village.
So you're saying you all cut down a magical grove and you got cursed? I turned to the group. Do you guys walk out after I message you that's like all clear?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do y'all think if we regrew those trees real quick that the curse would be lifted?
It's worth a try. Dryad could find the grove and replace it, but and rejoin there and bring balance back to the region. But the shaman seemed to have pinpointed the source of the curse to have coming from up inside the mountains. Something seems to have been active there, which is why we sent hunters up into the mountains.
So, do we kill the curse or cursed monster or consequence of the curse, or do we just go try to regrow the grove? Because I can regrow the grove in 8 hours. Like that's not that tall an order.
Well,
But that doesn't really fix
now-
the problem, does it?
but for now,
It undoes the original slight.
kind travelers.
Mhm.
For now, your help in just retrieving the family would be kind enough. We would be grateful for that. If we believe it must be our people who must deal with this. He seems really stubborn on that point a little bit, but I mean, you guys are. How do you guys offer help?
I mean, we could just go dig out the thing. I also advise that we go and get the horses now that we know it's clear real quick, so we
Sure.
don't lose our
Wait,
horses.
where is this family?
Just in a snow buried hut.
Yeah, they're buried underneath. Their hut got caved in by the snow, and they're buried underneath.
Well, I'll turn to my friends and I'll say, I think it would be really a good thing to save this grove. The balance of nature must be preserved at all costs, and I'm interested in ending the source of this curse.
Yeah, I think that's good. But like
Okay.
this here, look, elder guy. You don't want us to go kill the curse. It's an internal business. I get that. But we can still grow the grove back. It might not solve all your problems, but like I know dryads. I used to date one back in college. They hold a grudge, like, they definitely hold grudges. So like, maybe we just go fix that. I don't know if it'll cure all your problems, but like you guys shouldn't look, that's like curse 101, like magical forest. Don't cut it down. Like, come on. Teach you this day one of curse 101. Like literally, yeah. Professor Alexander. Yeah, anyway.
Okay. Well, so he says, well, that's all fine and good. If you all wish to seek out the grove, I can direct you to it. Please. And he turns over to another bugbear, Bosif.
Bosif the bugbear.
Bosif the bugbear. And kind travelers, your names.
I give him a fake name.
Okay, what's the fake name?
Bill.
Bill.
Bill Octavius. It's the Fey realm. You don't give your name up here. I know Fey rules.
Wait, so these bugbears chop down the trees at the grove?
Yes, and they believe that they're cursed now.
Oh,
they
well, in that case,
they believe they cut down the grove of a dryad. Yeah, and that has cursed them with a long and harsh winter.
Oh, well, I changed my mind. You all probably deserve this curse.
Yeah.
Oh. Should we
No,
go see how the
to see how
Dryad's
this
doing though?
helps
Like,
us.
yeah, that's true. We can also just keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, have fun. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, are you guys not gonna help
You
them
guys-
even like get their people out?
I'll
You
I'll
guys
sit there
deserve
for
this
10
curse.
minutes and press the digitation, and I can melt 1 cubic foot of like snow essentially every 6 seconds.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you guys help them out with that. That's cool. Two of the older adult male bugbears like go in and like, well, they're like younger. Actually, they're like younger males. They like go in, like pull out the bodies, and they take off all the warm clothing and such that they were wearing. They grab some of the resources out of the thing, which is honestly like really scarce rations. It looks like there's maybe food for like a person for a day left inside of that hut. They throw the bodies back onto the fire and put the warm clothes elsewhere. Are you guys heading out then?
Do you guys want to
Yeah,
go
I
kill
mean-
the curse, or we just let him? I mean, that is fair. We could go try to broker peace, but I don't know what's in it for us.
I'm disinclined to
Okay.
I'm Zoyson.
support these tree cutters.
Yep.
Fine.
If I may ask, are you traveling deeper into the mountains today?
Perhaps.
Take these. And he hands you some of the fur coats, the warm winter clothing that was on this family of bugbears, essentially. There's enough jackets for each of you. Our curse is our own issue, but thank you for your kindness and for helping this family.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
I'll as a thank you, I'll cast plant growth around the village, and a ton of, not just a ton of like wild bush, but like a ton of like more edible plants will also spring up.
Is this a cantrip or is this a spell?
It's a high level spell, but it's super powerful.
It's really
Great
good.
spell. What is that? A third or fourth level spell?
It's a
Third
third
level.
level spell. But I got pack slots, so
Okay.
just shoot
So-
them off.
Are you guys leaving the village?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
Okay.
you tree killers deserve this.
Do you think that or do you say that?
I say it.
Okay. The elder sort of hangs his head in shame. He said, yes, our greed got the best of us, it seems. We needed the wood to get through the cold winter, but we seem to have only made it worse.
Well, you got some more growth over there. If you need more things, probably don't cut down magical forests. This is like a good rule of thumb. Like I said, curses 101, avoid those.
We appreciate the assistance with this. This will help, certainly.
I mean, yeah, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
So I can't 100% fault you, but like, come on,
Yeah.
common sense.
Between
guy.
between some of the foliage that you've grown too, maybe some of them have like berries that they can pick from. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely some edible berries I was trying to grow, but it is
Okay,
winter.
so
it's-
yeah, so you've helped them out in some way here. Yeah, big time.
it's a huge ass 200-foot circle, 200-foot radius. Yeah, 200-foot
That's a
diameter.
lot of land. Yeah.
And
All right,
we
what's
move
next?
on.
Okay. Well, so you had to like sort of veer off to the left to get that. So you walk back out to that open space,
Mhm.
and the snowfall has kind of made it so that you've lost the path.
Love it.
The path isn't super clear. Phil, you've actually never really been to Ionor, so you're not sure like which way through the mountains you have to go, but you guys do have a magic item to help you out. You check it
Oh,
out.
magic rose conch. Where do we go?
Yeah, we
Where do we
check the
go?
rose.
So, and also, I want someone to make a survival check.
I am a skilled survivalist.
Go ahead. And
I'll
roll.
help him out. I'll get down,
Uh,
taste some of the
twen-
snow, throw it in the air.
24.
Okay, make it with advantage.
Oh, excellent. Still 24.
Okay, so you can see that the compass does sort of point as the mountains go up and up and up into the thing, but with a 24, you kind of get the idea that this isn't going to take you through the mountains. This is just going to take you deep into the mountains.
Cool.
So now looking back, you're kind of grateful that you helped out, spend an hour doing that, because now you got some nice warm clothes and you guys are going to need it, it looks like.
Yep.
Okay, so are you guys following the rose petal?
Yes, sir.
Or are you
Mhm.
going down to the city? Or
Oh.
are you continuing through the mountains towards Ionor?
Oh, so there's two. Do our paths diverge? Do the rose petals say go this way, and we know Ionor is that way?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think we should still head to Ionor in the event that like we have to go past Ionor in order to get there. You know what I mean?
I would say we should take the most direct route to our destination.
Mhm.
That's my
Agreed.
vote.
Okay, with a 2 to 3 vote, you guys heading up the mountain then?
More than fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need. What did I say in my notes about this? You have all warm clothing now. Are you guys putting it on?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but as I do, I kind of grimace and say, no, clothing of tree killers.
I will
affecting the fashion.
say. Let's see here. Okay. I need you each. Okay. So the warm clothing is going to help a lot. Okay. But as you get further and further into the mountains, it does get colder and colder. And the wind begins to howl, and it's piercing and frosting. And in the parts that the warm clothing doesn't cover, it really starts to like hurt and sting your face. And I do need everyone to make one Constitution saving throw right now.
All right.
All right.
This is not magical cold, is it?
Not magical.
Ah, I rolled a natural 1.
Oh dear, a
Uh,
4.
I got a 22.
At advantage?
I
We got an
straight roll.
advantage?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
because
you
of
have
the
the warm
codes?
clothing. You have the warm clothing.
Okay, thank
Oh,
God.
we
it's
do get
advantage.
advantage?
You get
Oh,
advantage.
Okay.
Still not
okay.
great.
Oh,
8.
okay.
Much better. Much better. 18.
Still 22.
Okay, Phil, you take a point of exhaustion from the cold.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
Ouch.
Okay, but you guys are traveling up, and I do also need to. Okay, so as you guys are traveling up the mountain, okay, all of a sudden, the edges of the cliff sort of become the as you're traveling up, parts of the mountain sort of become these deep, jagged parts again. It's really interesting. It's like this path is sort of being made out of the cliffs and leading up to a thing. And as you guys sort of follow it up and follow the compass roads, you continue to follow it up, and you feel this wind sort of rushing out from in between this cavern. So this wind is really picking up now. As you're walking through, your footsteps are crunching and making loud cracks. It's not very soft snow. It's sort of like frozen and slippery. I need everyone to make a dex saving, just a dexterity check. We'll see. Just roll a d20 and add your dex modifier.
okay.
Is my
it's the same for me.
enhance ability still active, or is more than an hour passed? Since
Probably more than an
Village?
hour's passed. I'd say that you guys have probably been hiking up this mountain for like 2 hours now.
Okay. And you said a dexterity check?
Yeah.
I rolled a nat
17.
20 plus 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Javier,
also
you're-
rolled a natural
You're
20.
killing it.
I got a 22.
Skull and
Can't have
Javier.
reflexes.
Phil, how'd you do?
Sick.
You said it was just a check,
Yeah.
so mine's actually a disadvantage.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right,
'cause
because
you're
it's a point of
exhausted.
exhaustion.
8.
Okay, so with an 8, Phil, you're taking this step, and all of a sudden you slip out and you fall, and it makes this. It's really interesting that the way that this ice is frozen over, because there's sort of this thin layer of ice, and when you land, it sort of makes this loud cracking noise, and you see above you some of the ice pack shifts and then falls on top of you, and
Amazing.
rocks are carried down with it. Man, Phil, you're having such bad luck.
Can I, upon seeing this, can I Misty Step about? Can I try to Misty Step to the opposite side of the canyon and get 90 feet away?
I will say, since you're prone, no.
Misty Step wouldn't be affected. It's 30 feet away.
I'll say, well, so you fell over,
Yeah.
like face first in the snow. I'm going to say that you don't quite see the snowfall. This is all sort of
Okay.
part of your dexterity check, kind of, to
Yes.
begin with. I need you to just roll. I'm going to roll a d6 really quick. You're just going to take some bludgeoning damage, essentially.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh boy. Adding
Um,
insult to injury. I love it.
Do you guys help him out of the snow, or does he have to dig his way out too?
We'll help
I'll
out.
help him out.
You just
Okay.
see the snow around me start to melt as I cast prestidigitation, and I just stay there face first as the snow face down. The snow around me like quickly recedes.
Okay.
Hey, Phil, how's that egg doing?
What type of check would I make for the egg?
Ooh, yeah. That egg is probably not doing too good. Let's make an animal handling check
Okay. Okay.
right now to see how the egg is doing.
Quite
Make
literally.
an egg handling.
handling.
check.
Oh, okay. 19.
Just because. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
so
but it's
you
a
did manage-
disadvantage. Wait.
I will say that like you've been
Oh, it's a
keeping the egg
19.
warm.
17 doubles.
You've been keeping the egg warm, and you fall into the snow, and you're like, no, the egg.
It's on the inside of my coat. Like it's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Even at disadvantage, I got a 19. So the
Pretty
egg
good.
is not meant to be gone yet.
So with all that in mind, oh, by the way, are you doing anything else with the egg while you're like traveling?
I'll warm it up. So I've got with prestidigitation, I can like keep it nice and like comfy. I can keep it just warm all around me. Yeah, for an hour at a time. And so
Good.
whenever I remember, I'll like warm it up.
Cool. Okay, and you guys continue forward. The cliff begins to sort of edge. As you guys are walking forward, by the way, the compass rose, like it was shimmering before. but now it's like really glowing.
Mhm.
And a single petal is still sort of leading you forward. And as you get closer and closer and closer, the cliff sort of comes into this cavern sort of space. You're sort of standing at the mouth of it, and it's really bright right now. It's sort of it glows. I do need everyone right now to make a perception check.
I just thought of something. We don't know what we're looking for, right?
No, you don't know what the item would look like.
If I'm gonna try to cast Identify on the rose and see if that'll tell me anything.
Sure, go ahead.
I
I
rolled a
cast
28
Identify on the
for
rose.
perception.
But I got a 14 on my perception.
Okay, so I'll say this. First of all, with the Identify on the rose, this is a compass rose. Okay?
Yep.
And it attunes to a particular item. It always points in the direction of that item. So as long as you're activating it, it'll always point in the direction that you need to go, essentially.
It doesn't give me any insight into what it is.
It does not tell you what item it's attuned to. It does tell you, though, that when you're super close to the item, that the entire rose starts to really like glow.
Cool.
But if you're like within 15 feet of it, the entire rose will light up.
Okay.
Skull, you said you rolled a 28 on perception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Skull, looking at the snow that's in front of you, you sort of see like it sort of dips differently, and you recognize this to mean that this is actually part of a frozen lake. That's in front of you. And there's snow on top of it, so you can't actually see the ice. But it's something that you have to be mindful of, that there's some frozen water here, and that it could crack or break depending on how.
Okay.
Okay.
Also,
And just-
other end of the cave, at the very far end of the cavern, through the snow, you're able to make out a small impression in the snow that's leaning up against the cliff.
I'm just checking in, Matt.
Oh.
Do you think we'll be able to finish by 1:30 again, or are we gonna go
Yeah,
on?
I think we're going to pause here pretty soon, actually.
Okay.
What?
I can teleport someone over there.
I
I
can also
also
teleport.
need everyone to make one more Constitution saving throw.
13.
Oh, no. 5.
It's a 10 from me.
Okay, so both Phil and Skull both take another point of exhaustion.
Oh no.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
As
no.
the winds in this area, it seems like as you've been walking up this path, the winds have just been whipping more and more and more. And so actually, like, it was actually a harder DC. But you guys, it's just whipping around. So you guys have each taken another point. That was with advantage, guys? Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with
Wait.
advantage.
Oh, with advantage?
Oh.
Okay.
With advantage. With
Hang on.
advantage.
Oh, then I got
with
18.
advantage?
Because you have the warm clothes, because you helped out the bugbears.
Ah,
14,
right,
forgot
right.
about that.
Thank you. I got 18.
Still, you failed again still?
The
I got a
14?
14.
Oh, 14. I thought that was a 5.
Yeah, 14.
No.
Well, what did you roll?
14.
Okay, so both of you are just sort of like, oh, covering up your noses
Okay.
as the
Wait,
wind around.
how big is this frozen lake?
I'd say it's about you're about 150 feet over to the other side,
Oh,
maybe 200 feet.
okay. I was gonna try and pole vault across it, but
I can teleport us
work.
across it.
I don't
I
know.
can
I might
teleport myself across it, I should say.
Just
I
you.
might try and risk it. I might try
Or
and just
somebody else.
send it.
I should go last, though.
Okay, Chris, you're just
I
walking
mean,
across.
I think I'm gonna try it. I don't have disadvantage on tricky terrain, so
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna
So,
watch and see what happens with Javier.
yeah.
so
Yeah,
make a dex.
I'm already-
Make a dex.
Oh no,
saving
actually,
throw.
no. Here's what I do. I use my boots. I turn my
Oh,
boots
yeah,
on.
you click your boots.
20 feet in the
you
air and I
levitate
walk
20 feet in the
across.
air and you walk across.
Yeah.
Can you teleport us across, Skull?
Do I want to
Because
burn a
I'm
4th level
freezing.
spell slot? Is it worth it?
Yes?
Oh, fuck it. I'll cast Dimension Door and we teleport.
Oh, boy.
across.
Okay.
grab Skull, and we just splash to the exact other side for a 4th level
Okay.
spell slot.
Cool.
And so you're on the other side of the lake where you saw that indentation. You guys clear away the snow. You see a door. You see sort of like this build out into the cave. It sort of looks like someone almost took a rock and just like covered it.
Okay. How big is the rock?
I'd say it's about as tall as a person.
Probably several tons.
Weighs quite a bit, looks like.
Yep.
You want me to move it?
By all means.
Can you
Oh,
blast
you
it?
want to try to move it?
I look around. Is there a lot of snow above us?
Oh, there's a bit, yeah.
Would I be worried about an avalanche if I were to do something egregious?
It
Oh,
looks
large?
like this rock is very separate from the structural integrity of the cliff. So as long as you're not like too, as long as you don't like vibrate the cliff, you'll be fine. Which you think you can do without what you think you could move this without really touching the cliff or anything, or disturbing the snow above you.
And it's a huge rock.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean,
I could polymorph into a giant ape to move it.
I could shatter it.
You could try to
could
shatter
also-
it.
Do
I
that.
could also
yeah.
try to grow plants through it and ruin it that way.
Try that as well.
I could summon a large celestial spirit who might be able to move it.
Summon God, please move this rock. Okay. I'll try to shatter it first.
Okay. You cast shatter?
So yeah, I get my sword out and I attack it with the sword, and as the sword plants, so it's not just I'm also attacking it, and then it also boom shatters inside. It automatically fails its save.
Okay, so roll for damage.
Oh no, it has disadvantage on the saving throw. I take that back. I don't
Okay,
know
so this
what
rock
a
makes a
rock's
saving throw.
Constitution saving throw is, but
It fails the save.
okay. Shatter.
It's a 10-foot radius
And
sphere.
and the damage doubles because this is an inanimate object, right?
Yes. So 16.
Okay, so and that doubles to 32.
No,
It doesn't say it
8.
doubles.
Doesn't it double if it's an inanimate object?
It just says if it's a material such as stone, crystal, or metal, it has disadvantage on the saving throw.
Okay, cool.
So it's just 8.
Okay, but I'll say with 16 points of damage, the rock shatters. I will say that because
Nice.
you used a spell called Shatter that literally sends vibrations through a cliff face that
Oh,
I need everyone to make dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
oh no.
As some of the snow and rock like falls off the cliff.
Ooh, natural 20.
Oh my
Rolling good
God.
today. 22.
Awful. 6.
Okay, Chris.
Oh, I didn't do very well either. I got 10, but I feel like there's got to be. Let me see. I'm just reading through all my stuff about dex saving throws. I think I remember something being there, but go ahead.
Okay, and I'm gonna say that that is 7 points of bludgeoning damage to each of you.
Amazing.
Wait, to each of you?
Yeah,
That made it or failed it?
that failed it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Can I use uncanny
Oh.
dodge? I guess that's a foe. That
No,
it
it's
says.
not an attack.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, but so this is open, and so gentlemen, this rock opens, and immediately this pungent smell of rotting flesh
Ooh,
sort of flushes up into your
Yeah.
nostrils.
smells like almonds.
It's dark, but at the very end of the tunnel, you can see some dim lighting at the end. And it's musty. It seems that the tunnel itself, although this was built in through the cliff, has like ice forming on the inside of its walls. And the wind, all of a sudden, a gust of wind sort of rushes past you and sort of meets up with the swirl of the chaos that's outside in front of this lake. And you sort of begin to see like storm clouds forming over the lake.
Huh.
And here's the deal. We can start this dungeon dive now, but I don't think we're going to finish it before 1:30.
I don't think
Well,
we
let's
go
go
either.
to 1:30.
Yeah, I'm down to go to
Yeah,
1:30.
Stop.
Okay. So you guys want to keep pushing?
Yes.
Sure.
All right. What's your marching order?
I
I'll go
will
first.
not go first because I'm exhausted.
I've got good perception.
Yeah, let's have you go first.
All right,
Skull. Skull.
I'll take the lead.
Hey, you take the lead, Skull?
Oh,
And then
would
you
I be
guys-
able to cast detect magic as we go along?
Sure. Yeah. How long does that spell last?
10 minutes.
You have to concentrate on it?
Yep.
Okay.
But within a
Um,
30-foot radius of me, I detect any and all magic in the school.
By the way, you do not, like, nothing like lights up, essentially.
Okay.
The way that detect magic works in this world is that you can, when you're doing it, you can always see a slight shimmering of the weave. You sort of see like these thread structures, sort of like faintly things, and then things that are magical, it's sort of, the magic sort of spools around it.
In different colors.
And
Yeah.
like this glowing sort of different color thread. So none of that sort of spooling is happening. You do see the weaves around here. They look a little bit like you can see them clearer than you normally would. Usually they're pretty opaque, sort of transparent, translucent, and they seem a little bit more. Well, yeah, they're usually like translucent, transparent, and right now they seem a little bit more opaque. Like you can't quite see through them so much as they are like letting light pass through them and stuff, but they're just sort of wisping through. You can still see everything just fine.
Fascinating.
But it does seem like you've stumbled upon a place where just magical energy is just a little bit more stronger and attuned to itself.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
You guys are descending the tunnel. Let me find my
Yeah.
map.
What do we see?
Here. So,
Ooh.
stealthing at all.
Why not? We can stealth.
We
Yeah,
can
let's
stealth
stealth.
if we want to. We can hide.
Should I? How many second level spell slots do I have?
So I would appreciate that advantage.
Yeah, I will tap Phil and give you Blessing of the Hunter, so you can roll a straight stealth check instead of disadvantage. Should I cast? Fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace. So we all get +10 to stealth for the next hour.
Oh shit. On top of our normal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Plus
Okay.
10 to stealth?
Yeah, Pass
Yeah,
Without
so
Trace
it's a-
is insane.
That's a
It's a
good
good
spell.
spell.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Well,
good thing you
in
cast
that case,
Yeah, that was good. I
Yeah.
can cast that. I rolled an 8, but +10 puts me at 18.
I got 37.
I got 30.
Holy shit.
Oh my god. Okay, so you guys stealthily start heading down.
I'm an
this.
SR-71.
Yeah. So as you enter this this cavern, there's definitely sort of like a how do you say it? There's like sort of makeshift steps.
Hmm.
So you are sort of descending down these steps, and you're doing so incredibly stealthily. And as you're doing so, you veer off sort of a little bit to the left towards where you see that dim light come through.
This is still
And
stinky.
Yes, very musty. And as you head down this tunnel, definitely more must sort of coming through. I will say that like as you're coming around, you sort of reach the corner of where the staircase ends,
Mhm.
and you see a dimmer light opening up to a bigger room. Give me just one moment, gentlemen.
All right.
Do I
Whoa,
detect
what?
any magic? And does Delfinger detect any good and evil?
It does detect a presence.
I'm gonna run to the
of-
bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Man, pass without a trace is so great.
Wow.
It is good. I cast that. Otherwise, I would have had a 8.
I just learned that the words desecrated and consecrated are opposite of it. Like, I never put that together, that they're the opposite sides of, antonyms.
Yep.
Consecrated
Desecrate,
ground
consecrate.
or desecrate. It makes sense. Desecrate and consecrate. English. What a cool world. Consecrated ground.
Magic is so fun.
So my sword's detecting good and evil, and I'm detecting magic.
So
Phantom, if you continue to get exhausted, I may be able to heal that.
I mean, I hope it just stays at one level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
2 levels of exhaustion is okay.
Where
After
he's
the
bad.
3rd level, that's when it really starts to deteriorate.
the hand got some
Like,
Crater
cleanup and stuff.
Restoration costs 100 gold worth of diamonds, and that gets consumed. So
I
it's
would,
like
yeah.
So
maybe wait till
I
you have
want-
extra levels.
Cool, you're leading the group.
Yes, sir.
I need a perception check.
Okie doke. 23.
23. Ooh, wow. So first of all, as you guys are walking down the stairs, well, you notice that there are some blood stains sort of like dragging down the staircase. Seems like it's older blood. It seems like it's been here for a few days, and you see some from like that are like fresher, and then some that are like really old blood stains, but they're just like dragging, sort of almost like a carcass of some kind was like being taken down through. So as you enter the base of the stairs, though, you peek over into the cavern. See the dried blood stains continue along the floor, and as you look in, you see a chamber with 4 giant pillars of ice sort of rising up through the ceiling. The floor itself is stone, but the walls and the ceiling are ice. And as you look up, you can actually see sort of the bottom of the lake. You can see fishes sort of swimming through the top.
Cool.
But it looks like this like thick wall of ice separates between you and the cavern. Okay.
Oh,
you
so we
also
can't
see-
directly get into the cavern because there's a thick wall of ice?
the ceiling is a thick sort of ceiling of ice that like separates you from the lake.
Okay.
Oh, so like we're underneath the lake.
Yes.
Got it.
You also see what looks to be a bugbear whose body has been desiccated, and it's laying on a table in the center of the room. It kind of almost looks like a dining table. There are some chairs that surround it, and it's just sort of like sitting in the middle of this table here. But you also see 2 other bugbear-like figures standing in the room, and they're sort of lumbering around. But as you look at them, you realize that while they look like bugbears, something's off about them. They're disproportionate. Their arm, like one arm shorter than the other. The way that they walk looks like their hips have been discontorted, and they're sort of hunching around and lumbering about. That's what you see. You see these 2 sort of like contorted figures. Oh, and in the far back of the room, on the opposite side of the room, you do see 3 cages. You see a troll on the inside of one of the cage.
Mm-hmm. The other 2 are empty?
Yeah, the other 2 cages are empty. There's 3 total. 3 cages total.
I lean in. I have an idea. It might be a bad idea, but I think it would be interesting.
I'm all ears.
I whisper.
Lay it on me.
Do we want to just make it rain and then shock and awe?
What do you
Against
have in
what?
mind?
Yeah.
I could just pop a hole in the ceiling and shatter that and just flood this entire room and see what happens.
Uh,
That doesn't sound great.
but
think-
what is that? What about us?
Yeah.
What about us?
Maybe we should just kill them. They seem
You hear
threatening.
Professor Oak's voice in your head. No, just kidding.
Okay, I could probably kill him pretty quickly. Should we just surprise and attack him?
Wait, attack
Yeah,
what?
but
The freaky ass bugbears.
Oh. Oh, yes. Yeah. I thought there was just the dead one. Yeah. No, I forgot.
Yeah, there's
The
two
two-
of them.
Hello.
Are we just gonna
You
do
say
that?
hello?
I don't know. We're still
Alright,
stealth,
Javier.
right?
Yeah, you're still
Yeah,
stealth.
yeah,
You guys
yeah.
are like-
They don't
you guys
notice
are
us. How
ninja
far
stealth
away are
right
they?
now.
Oh, yeah. We're ninja stealth.
I'd say that they're about one's probably 30 feet away. The other one's probably about 40 or 50.
Are they within 30 feet of each other?
No.
Oh, they're opposite sides?
Yeah, there's so you can see 4 ice pillars, and
Yeah.
one is kind of behind one of the pillars that leads to the left, and then one's like in front of another pillar that leads to the right.
We could sneak around them or just attack them.
Let's just straight up attack him. I mean, I could
Okay.
try to hypnotize one of them real quick, but.
Well, I
fuck it,
think
let's-
my go-to move, I'll just throw out a guiding bolt. What do you two guys want to do?
I was gonna.
Yeah, if we're just going straight into it, I'm gonna run up to him and try and do a sneak attack.
I was gonna do a Hexblade's Curse and then just start smacking on him.
Okay.
Smack
Oh,
him.
So,
maybe we
Phil,
can
you're-
kill them one by one without the other noticing.
I think if
Okay.
we just do a real quick one at a time, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, then I will not cast my magic because that makes noise.
Um,
So Phil and Javier, you guys are you guys being stealthy as you attack?
Javier's gonna, yeah, Naruto run over to one of them and try and take him out stealthily.
I will ask you if you're entering the dim light. I will ask you to make another stealth check.
we
Okay.
still have.
Is your sneak
Pass
attack?
Without-
Do you need to be sneaking in order for that to work?
No,
We still have Pass Without a Trace up.
Yeah, past. Yeah,
So 21.
less an hour.
Okay, 21. I'll call this.
Um,
I'll call this a surprise attack round if a group stealth checks out.
yeah, I got, well, let's see.
Should I just attack too?
I got 34, so I'd say we're pretty good there.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So are you both targeting the same one?
Yep. So
Yep.
I'm gonna
Take 'em out.
Hexblade's Curse, and then it's at advantage, right?
Yes.
Okay. First attack is a 24 to hit. Second
Yeah.
attack is a 25 to hit,
That will hit.
and then it's gonna be 15 and 40 plus 4, yeah. 15 and 14 points of damage.
15 and 14 points of damage for a total of 29.
29 points of damage.
Okay. It turns around and wait.
Wait, what about
Were
Javier's
you
attack?
doing anything?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna do that. I'll do my sneak attacks.
Go
So,
for it.
I mean, I'll see what happens.
okay, so I'm gonna do this. So 19 to hit for the first one.
Yeah, 19 hits.
Okay, and then I'm gonna do my this. And then so 23 for the first one, including my sneak attack dice.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's right,
And
you're a
then-
rogue.
I'm gonna do another attack because I'm also a fighter. And that'll be 18 to hit,
Hit.
and then 12 for the second one.
Is he still alive?
It's still alive.
I will
and it-
also use a defensive flourish then.
Are you
It's just part
a
of my
bonus
attack.
action?
No,
Is it a
it's
bonus
just
action?
it's just that because I'm a cool cool bard, I can just defensive flourish whenever I attack.
I'll say that because this is a surprise attack round, because you already attacked, we're not. So now we need to roll initiative.
It would have been part of that attack, but that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
I'll allow it. But before,
Um,
but in future, let me know if you're going to do that beforehand. So if one of these attacks was defensive flourish, yeah, go ahead and add your die to that.
Yes, and I believe my bardic inspiration is what that means is a D8. Okay, D8. So that's a 3 to the attack. So you take the next 3 points of damage, but my AC goes up by 3, so my AC is now 20.
Oh, Maz, I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention your perception roll. You do see off to the right 4 different paths leading out of the chamber.
Cool.
Okay. Okay. So this is a surprise round then.
Yes.
Right.
And I mean, Skull, are you like readying an action?
We'll just get right into it. I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt at we'll just cast it at a first level.
All right. I
That
will say,
is, what will you say?
well, I will say, gentlemen, we are closing in at 1:30. So let's do
Mhm.
this. Cast your guiding bolt.
Yeah, so that's a 19
You
to hit.
targeting the same one?
Yeah, same one. 19 to hit for 11 points of radiant damage as I stretch out my hand and a beam, it looks like a beam of moonlight strikes it. And the next hit against that creature will be made with advantage, whoever hits it again or tries to hit it again.
Wait. Guys, are your attacks piercing and slashing?
Yes,
Or are they magical attacks?
they are.
Mine are
Those are
magical.
weapons, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then as a bonus action, I will shift as you see my body like kind of trembles and my like muscles seem to like expand and my hands turn to like bestial claws as I become more wolf-like and like larger. And
Okay.
in doing that, I get some temporary hit points plus 1 to my AC.
All right. As you guys unleash this flurry of attacks at this creature, it sort of it turns around and you see it is a bugbear, at least a 10. And everything else is like a mismatched sort of Frankenstein sewn on piece of a different creature or humanoid being. And it sort of looks at you. There's hardly any intelligence in its eyes. It seems like it's almost just like magically brought to life and moving. And it lets out a large, like bellowing as you see the other one turn towards you. And I need everyone to roll advantage or roll initiative. Go ahead and drop your initiative.
All right.
No,
We'll
it's
take,
almost
we'll
the
take
19.
down these initiatives and we'll do the combat
Not
later. But
20
you guys, not 20?
Plus 7
What?
For what?
for my initiative. Not 20 plus 7.
27?
I got a 12.
5 for Phil. And 12 for Skull.
That
All
was a
right.
hell of a sneak
You guys
attack
want to see a
round,
map
though.
of the combat?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can't believe we just pumped 60 damage into this thing and it's not down.
Well, this
I mean,
thing
it's
is
kind of
a souped up something.
Kind of a thing.
It's
How
not
does
a
it how does it
normal-
look?
Lowly
Oh,
It
tarnished.
looks damaged. It looks
Not
damaged.
even fit to
But
grab.
you guys,
Does it look like it's below the halfway
so
mark?
it's backwards. Wow, how can I get that fixed?
That's okay.
I guess that's
I
better.
mean everything's
Oh, you
relative.
can. There's a setting you can do to mirror your screen.
Oh yeah. Blur my.
It's all relative.
Doesn't look like anything to
Hey.
me.
Choose video filter and then
settings.
mirror. Yeah,
Oh,
if you
mirror.
click on your ellipses,
Yes. There we go. That's how I see it.
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, no, that looks right.
So-
Yeah.
So this is the dining room with the desecrated bugbear on it.
Okay.
This is the first zombie thing that you're attacking. There's the other one. And as it yells out, one does emerge from the third.
Oh, we got another one.
And another one,
Great.
as you enter the chamber, was behind a pillar.
Oh
Cool.
boy.
Of course.
I love it. I love it.
I'm still
Hey.
saying we should have just flooded the room out, but it's whatever.
Are you a good swimmer? Can you breathe
Professor
underwater?
Oak's voice.
Yeah.
You hear Professor Oak's voice. Phil, there's a time and place for everything.
I haven't ruled it out. I still might try to shatter.
You
everything.
can. I'm gonna say that ceiling. I'm gonna tell you right now that ceiling looks pretty thick. Pretty
I don't know.
thick.
I feel like we've been here before, and it makes more sense for me just to work on the ceiling.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
So we're
Um,
dealing with some kind of bugbear necromancer, huh?
a Beckromancer, if you will.
Yeah.
Some sort of thing. Yeah.
Some grafting.
I just love that
Awesome.
all of the bugbears had a name that started with B.
Oh,
Is it
Bugsy.
Boffrey? Bimothy?
Dilly.
No, I mean, well, hey, dude, the chief's name was Kansif. You just never asked.
Oh, I heard Fansif. I heard one
Fucking
bugbear with the
tree
B, and I
cutters.
was like immediately.
I don't
Oh,
even
man.
remember his name. I didn't write it down.
It was.
That's
I think it was Bimothy.
Bimothy.
The family was Boris's family.
Yeah, there you go. Boris
Yeah.
Bimothy.
Boris the
Banter.
bugbear.
I'm
Dude,
excited. and
It's a good
stupid.
thing, Mazich, that you helped out those tree killers because
Oh,
because
yeah,
those
the fur
those
coats.
robes those clothes that they gave you came in handy.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, that was good.
That is true.
I don't know.
still-
Yeah, I wonder what we would have done if we'd tried to find more about that dryad.
I mean, I would have just rebuilt her thing. It would have been really easy, but. Lund, should we apply the level up now, or do you want to just start us
Maybe
at
it would
10?
be more appropriate at the end of
The combat.
the dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah, that I was gonna say if we didn't start it, maybe that would have been fine, but yeah, okay.
That's
no,
fine.
we'll-
I'm just
we'll-
I'm moving around some boons and invocations on my level up, which, yeah,
all right, guys.
I'll tell you. I'll explain to you what I'm doing if you want. But
I gotta sign off. Good first
Okay.
session though.
Okie doke.
great
Yeah, I
first
can't
session.
wait
Thank you,
to-
Lund.
Thanks for role playing
Can't wait to
during
play it again.
during my travel a little bit.
I love it.
Thanks,
I
Matt.
love
This
it.
is really fun. Can't wait for more.
I can't.
I'm
Awesome.
so excited.
We'll plan it.
It's kind of fun playing with a smaller group.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Let's plan to do it soon because I got this dungeon planned, so we can do it probably this week.
I'm down
Cool.
for a weekday, weeknight.
I'm free all this week, so that works for me.
Okay.
I'm not in the hospital this week.
I'll text you guys and let you guys what days work.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Worst case, we'll do it next week too. I'm a little busy with school right now, but that's okay.
Yeah. Let me see.
Okay. I've
got some stuff.
All right. Later, dudes.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.